All right, guys, and welcome everyone to Dallas on homecoming weekend. Number 10, Miami taking on the SMU Mustangs. Second meeting all time between these teams inside the SMU locker room a moment ago.
Games like this is why you came to SMU. Games like this is why you stayed at SMU. Okay? You've already played this in your mind, right, for the last 48 hours. So we already know how it's going to go. Now it's just time to hit play. All right? One team, one heartbeat. Protection mode. Protect each other. Protect our home. All right. I'm so excited to watch you guys play, man. I love you. I'm proud of you, and I believe in you. Let's go get it done.
The newly minted head coach, Rhett Lashley of the SMU Mustangs, taking on the University of Miami Hurricanes, ranked number 10 coming into the afternoon. Headed up by Mario Cristobal, and SMU won the toss a moment ago, deferring to the second half, so the Hurricanes will start with the football first. Miami coming off a very impressive win a week ago at home at Hard Rock Stadium against Stanford. Meanwhile, SMU dropping a close game at Wake Forest. And we're underway. Keelan Marion, one of the top kick returners in the country a season ago, takes it out to the 31-yard line. You're watching ESPN College Football presented by ServPro. Folks, this is the ACC on ESPN from Gerald Ford Stadium here on campus at SMU. I'm Mark Jones alongside Roddy Jones. Quint Kesnick down on the field as we get underway here in Dallas. First down and 10 for the visitors from the 35-yard line. Carson Beck, the starting quarterback for the Hurricanes, completing 73% of his passes on the year, and had a nice bounce-back performance last week. Out of the backfield is Mark Fletcher. Made a nice move and pushed out of bounds right near the line of scrimmage. Maybe got 3 yards on the play. Alexander Kilgore pushing him out of bounds. There's the number on Carson Beck. Roddy, what do you make of his prospects coming into this game?
We did a really nice job last week of flushing the game 2 weeks ago, where he threw 4 interceptions against Louisville. Against Stanford was much more under control, much more poised. 21 of 28, took care of the football, but a lot of it was because of Miami's success in the run game.
Looking to throw here, Malachi Toney, one of the most immutable players in the entire country. Just a freshman, only 19 years old, picks up 7 and up for the first down. Well, Mario Cristobal has built this offense in his own image. In his 4th season as Miami's head coach, local native from right in El Barrio, right a few miles away from campus. Former offensive lineman and player with the Hurricanes. Bauman splits out the tight end. Beck with a clean pocket, and Fletcher couldn't squeeze it at the 47. It'll be second down and 10.
2 plays ago, Miami did something a little different. They lined up Malachi Toney in the backfield. That was a little bit of a wrinkle that we haven't seen much this season, if at all. So Miami already getting creative with how to get number 10 the football. Malachi Toney, one of the best players in the entire country as a true freshman.
And there's Toney in motion. They'll move him around the chessboard a lot. Little receiver screen, nowhere to go though. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Ja'Kai Lang. Let's take a look at today's impact players, brought to you by Mattress Firm.
Well, when you look at this Miami offense against this SMU defense, Miami offensively, Malachi Toney is certainly one, but Mark Fletcher had 106 yards on the ground to power this offense. And then in the middle, Jeffrey Emba, he's going to be a big part of stopping the run for this SMU defense.
He's got a great journey all the way from Cameroon and France to American football, and here now in Dallas. 3rd and 13, Beck fires, caught. Forward progress is going to be marked at the 48-yard line. That's JoJo Trader, good for 11 yards, setting up a 4th and short.
Miami's leaving the offense on the field. Actually, they may be bringing the punt team now. Yeah, they're taking it off. Mario Cristobal opting not to go for it on this 4th and short. SMU's defense is excellent in short yardage situations. It's something that Miami coaches called out to us. That probably goes into the decision to go ahead and punt the ball away. But JoJo Trader getting the start today as CJ Daniels, the starting receiver for Miami, not playing.
That's Ymir Knight of the Mustangs back at his own 12-yard line. Dylan Joyce with the punt for the Hurricanes. The fair catch called and fielded back all the way at the 9-yard line. 42 yards on the punt. Let's go downstairs to Q as we get a look at Ruben Bain, Q.
Yeah, we got to look at Bain, but Akeem Messidor should be back in the lineup today for Miami, giving the Canes that incredible 1-2 punch at the defensive end position. Ruben Bain has been tearing it up. He only has 2 sacks this season, but amongst defensive line players across the entire country, he is the highest graded. He's a junior, but if the NFL draft were today, Mark, he'd be taken in the top 10 picks. He's been wreaking havoc on opponents. He's got 39 quarterback pressures. Bain and Messidor look to dominate up front for the Canes.
One of the storylines coming into this football contest. SMU keeps it on the ground on 1st and 10. That's Derek McFall. Ruben Bain Jr. His father, Ruben Sr., began the family journey. He played at legendary Traz Powell Stadium back in Miami back in the day and collegiately. Derek McFall again. Hey, how much of an equalizer or not can tempo be in this football game?
It's going to be huge. Miami doesn't substitute a lot on the defensive line, so if you can create some fatigue, it's an advantage.
On the receiver screen, complete. And that's going to be a first down catch and run by Jordan Hudson. And they are going to be purposeful about trying to get him a few more targets. He picks up 9 and quickly back up to the line of scrimmage. And we get a flag.
I'll tell you what.
Right, there's fast, and this is fast.
This is really fast.
Offside, defense, number 11. 5-yard penalty, first down.
David Blay, number 11, lines up in that nose guard spot, is right over the center. He had 2 false starts, or 2 offsides a week ago. One early in the game, one just after halftime. You can see himself really frustrated by jumping off sides, but I mean, when you're the nose guard, the ball's right in front of you, he's got to be more disciplined.
They keep it on the ground. This is Chris Johnson, one of several former Hurricanes. Out of Dillard High School, a Saint. Rhett Lashley, I'll tell you what, I hope he's not vegan because he's going to be seeing a lot of bread.
Yes, he is.
Coming to terms and agreeing on a reported new deal with the administration.
Extension announced yesterday, well deserved. SMU had not won a conference championship since 1984 before Rhett Lashley took over. Won it in 2023 in the American, made it to the ACC championship game last year and the college football playoff.
Maryland goes into the backfield, throw downfield, got a man, and it's caught at the 45 by McFall. Got in behind Mohamed Toure. And it's a first down for the Mustangs quickly up to the line of scrimmage after the 24-yard pickup.
Did a really good job of manipulating the safety's eyes before hitting the pass down the field.
Nice run to the left side and a big-time hit by Basaint.
Well, Kevin Jennings looks to his left and then slings it, and McFall is able to get around Mohamed Toure, the linebacker. They formationed that into that matchup. They moved guys from the boundary to the field. It forced Toure in against Derek McFall with a lot of space, and they're able to hit the big play.
Jennings going to pass again, gets it out quickly again, completes it again, this time to R.J. Maryland, who stopped up several yards shy of the first down. The question begs, can Kevin Jennings rebound from arguably his worst performance as a Mustang?
This is a much better start. He's already more accurate than he was early in that Wake Forest game.
They get it out quickly one more time. Out of the backfield, that's Jordan Hudson. His second reception brought down by Keontae Scott.
I'd expect Rhett Lashley to go for it here. It's going to be 4th and short. This is Kevin Jennings last week. That doesn't even tell the full story. It was inaccurate early, missing some passes. But this Miami defense is big up front. Can SMU get enough push to get this first down? Kevin Jennings has also been a little banged up, so the run game has not been as big a part of his game. Is this the time that they sneak in a quarterback run? Some confusion from SMU.
Yeah, Got T.J. Harden in the ball game. Their #1 tailback, or amongst a group of them.
SMU, their first timeout.
The Mustangs are 6 of 9 on 4th downs this season. It'll be 4th and short when we come back. Give me one to Dallas and Gerald Ford Stadium. Zeros on the scoreboard, just underway. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, Quint Kesnick down to the field. Partner, Miami lost to Louisville a couple of weeks ago. Do you see any similarities between SMU's initial attack here and what Louisville did?
Well, SMU's been getting the ball out quick and getting it to the perimeter. That's where you attack Miami, at least early. But the tempo is something different. And this is going to be a big 4th down coming off of a situation on a dead ball.
They fumble it, put it on the ground, and the Hurricanes able to recover. R.J. Maryland couldn't squeeze the handoff, and the Hurricanes will have 1st and 10 coming back the other way. One more look.
R.J. Maryland, not accustomed to taking a handoff, doesn't have the pocket right, reaching for the football. It's just bad technique by the tight end, and it ends up on the ground. I'm not sure they'd have had the 1st down anyway. Keontae Scott looked like he was right there, but after the ball hits the ground, he's the first man there. When you hand it off to guys that aren't used to taking handoffs, sometimes you can have those things happen in crucial situations. Rhett Lashley thought he had a play, but ends up in a turnover on downs.
Wow.
Really a turnover, not a turnover on downs because of the fumble.
Mark Fletcher in the backfield on 1st and 10 for Miami. Malachi Toney in motion. Fletcher down to the 45-yard line. Hey, Roddy, believe it or not, the Canes didn't run it between the A or B gap, huh?
You know, there's been a lot of talk about how Miami's run the ball and whether or not it gets outside. A lot of it depends on how the defense is playing you. That's an outside zone play. They run outside zone a ton in the last few games, but Shannon Dawson's crew has had to cut it back in because people have played with a hard edge. Shannon Dawson, as long as they're successful in the run game, he's going to be pleased.
Fletcher and Toney now in the backfield beside Carson Beck as Toney motions out. Makes the catch in a little bit of space. And this time stopped up at about the 47-yard line by Deuce Harmon. Picked up 2 on the play. Malachi Toney, the most dynamic player offensively for the Miami Hurricanes. He's got the talent and the personality to be one of the leaders of that offense. As Carson Beck will keep it on 4th down, it looks like he has just enough, 3rd down, just enough to pick up the 1st.
Good job of Carson Beck of feeling the soft spot on that quarterback sneak, rolling himself into that 1st down.
Malachi Toney with a big day in special teams last week, Roddy. We did Miami's game against Stanford, and his 2 punt returns really catalyzed that offensive production.
They did. Only 52 yards receiving for Malachi Toney, but his impact in the special teams game, I thought, took some of the pressure off of this offense as it sort of sputtered in the 1st half.
Fletcher between the tackles, straight ahead, pounds it down to the 44 of SMU, hit by Terry Webb. Picked up 8 yards on the play, and there is the real emotional leader of that Miami offense, Mark Fletcher Jr. Now Miami up at the line of scrimmage quickly. Markel Bell may have moved a little early.
False start, offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Markel Bell, a mountain of a man at 6'9", 345 pounds. He's a part of an offensive line for Miami that they have a lot of confidence in. They go 6'9", 6'6", 6'3", 6'6", 6'6" across the board. It's one of the biggest offensive lines in the country. Markel Bell's done a nice job at that left tackle spot for him.
Toney and Fletcher in the backfield on the 49-yard line. Beck with a clean pocket delivers a strike. Down to the 43. It's caught by Keelan Marion. 6-yard gain. Hey, coming up at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the all-new ESPN app. The final game of the triple header. Number 14, Tennessee hosts number 18, Oklahoma in Knoxville.
It's basically a college football playoff elimination game. Oklahoma, Tennessee, feels like the loser is kind of out of the running both in the SEC and in the CFP.
3rd down and 1. Who do you like in that game?
I like Tennessee, that offense.
Homer. Fletcher straight ahead, picks up the 1st down by moving the pile all the way down to the 40-yard line. Got 3 on the play. I don't think you can overstate how much the identity of Miami's offense is wrapped up in Mark Fletcher Jr.
And that offensive line. I mean, he stopped initially, and then you get Francis Mauigoa behind the big running back, and he starts pushing forward. Look at 61, gets in there and starts pushing forward, and that's when that pile starts to move. The future 1st rounder helped get that 1st down.
From the 40-yard line, Beck. Gonna run with it. Slides in safely. They're gonna spot it back at the 36-yard line. Picked up 4 on the play.
It's a nice decision by Carson Beck. He's not a huge run threat, but does know how to use his legs functionally. Shannon Dawson has started to find something, mixing in, doing a really good job of mixing in some passes with that downhill run game that we've been talking about.
Statistically, that SMU secondary is one of the lower rated secondaries in the country in terms of pass defense numbers. Beck, downfield, caught! Touchdown, Hurricanes, JoJo Trader.
JoJo Trader getting the start because C.J. Daniels is out, just slips inside of Marcellus Barnes, and then does a really nice job of using his body to bring the ball in. This was a guy who came in much ballyhooed out of high school. People have been waiting. Where is JoJo Trader? There he is. Shows the immense talent there, and Carson Beck feeling comfortable putting it right on the money.
He delivered a strike. And Trader getting the start in place of C.J. Daniels today, who's out. Hurricanes strike first. It's 7-0. And Carson Beck looking very much comfortable on that drive. That 4-interception game against Louisville way back.
The #1 choice in cleanup and restoration.
And welcome back, everyone, to Dallas. Some of the wonderful and cool images from our crew and their Halloween costumes. Roddy, what did your kids dress up as?
We had a queen, a bat, and Evie, and then my wife felt bad that I wasn't going to be included, so she dressed up as me in college. Wore jersey, the eye paint.
All right.
It was a surprise to me. So. It's awesome that our crew shared those pictures, and we appreciate the heck out of them missing a time like Halloween with their families to be out here with us.
I like that Mad Doctor looking Knox Arlo kid there.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. All out.
On the kick return, here come the Mustangs, right up the middle, bursting through the seams. Link Rhodes all the way out near midfield at the 44-yard line. So SMU will have very auspicious starting field position here on this drive.
There's my
dressed
crew.
as Roddy.
Yeah, and my wife there on the left wearing my jersey. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Took it out of the Hall of Fame, huh? And welcome back, everyone, to Gerald Ford Stadium here in Dallas. SMU trailing 7-0 against the Hurricanes. Mustangs with the football, 1st and 10 from their own 43 after that 40-yard kick return by Rhodes. Jennings gets it out quickly again to Jordan Hudson. Already with his 3rd reception in the ball game, picks up a few yards. Toure making the stop for Miami on the 3-yard pickup.
Jordan Hudson was a guy that they wanted to get the ball to early and often. And Keontae Scott on the defensive end for Miami might be Miami's 2nd best defender, and that's saying something. Ruben Bain being first, but SMU has had Jordan Hudson involved a lot. Had a 100-yard game against Clemson. A little bit less of a game last week.
Those are impact players brought to you by Mattress Firm. And the pass incomplete. Armando Blunt getting a hand on it, so it's 3rd down coming up and 6 to go for the Mustangs.
That is something that comes up when you watch Kevin Jennings. He gets a decent number of balls batted down by defensive linemen. A little bit of a lower throwing angle. That is something that was a point of emphasis for Miami. Now you have to contend with Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor, both lined up to the top of your screen.
Coming off the edge, they throw it away from him. Pass complete to Chris Johnson, hit immediately by Damari Brown. No gain on the play, 4th down coming up. In comes the punt unit for SMU.
Corey Heatherman's unit defensively has been the best in the ACC this year. A lot of that starts with the front. That time they lined up Mesidor and Bain to the field side, and SMU just opted to dump it out to the boundary and hope for something good to happen, hope to make a man miss. Wasn't able to happen.
See if the Mustangs kick it away from Malachi Toney or not. Wade McParson. McSparron, pardon me. An end-over-end punt. Toney fields it cleanly at the 18. Back to the studio with an update on Texas and Vanderbilt.
That's right, Jonesy. Matt Barron, our college football studio. Subway fresh plays, starting with the first offensive play of the game for Texas. Arch Manning to Ryan Wingo. This is all Wingo, all yak for 75 yards. Texas a 10-0 lead early against Vanderbilt. Also, Clemson and Duke. Darian Mensah. Coverage bust by Clemson. 14-7 Blue Devils in Death Valley.
Manny Diaz's crew out in front by a touchdown. 1st down and 10, Miami. Mark Fletcher in the backfield for the Hurricanes. Toney in the slot. Flags on the field.
Snap infraction, offense, number 52. 5 penalty, remains 1st down.
Roddy, what a great story Vanderbilt is this year.
Yeah, they really are. It's been quite the run, although on the road they had road wins at at Virginia Tech and at South Carolina. It's a different beast going to Texas. Texas up early, but Arch Manning, how about that? Getting some confidence early in this game.
Malachi Toney in the slot. The 18-year-old said he was 19 earlier, still precocious and poised beyond his years. Pass complete to JoJo Trader that time. Picks up 10. 2nd and 5 coming up.
It's a good gain on 2nd down, but Mark, the pre-snap penalties for Miami have really hurt this team. It really throws them off. It's a team that's predicated on being 1st and 10, 2nd and medium, 3rd and short. Their ability to run the football. That gain gets them back on track into a 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5.
From the 22, Beck hands it off to Fletcher. Powering and pummeling his way down to the 32. Finally stopped by Brandon Booker, and he picks up the 1st down. Mark Fletcher, one of those local guys from American Heritage High School.
Yeah, the right side of that offensive line, just bullying SMU up front. Then Mark Fletcher gets to the 2nd level, does the same.
Off the play fake, Beck finds Fletcher out of the backfield, showing off his receiving skills, and out across the 45. And another 1st down. Kyron Chambers makes the tackle on the 12-yard gain.
This is an offensive line that's only allowed 6 sacks all year. And so far, Carson Beck has had an eternity to throw the football. Worked through his progressions. He's hit the check down a couple of times. We've seen him run a little bit. Shannon Dawson has to be pleased with the rhythm his quarterback is in, and really the rhythm that this offensive line is in, opening up gaps in the run lane and keeping Carson Beck clean in the pass game.
Toney in motion. They keep it on the ground. Across the formation. That time it's Jordan Lyle as we go down to Q.
Shannon Dawson this week told us when we spoke to him, he said, I have to have a high capacity for boredom. Interesting, leaning on that running game, leaning on Mark Fletcher, leaning on this offensive line. He said last year our defense wasn't any good. I knew we had to score 40 points, and that's why we threw the ball around the yard with Cam Ward. This year, 28 may do it, and you see that in the way he's calling this game, leaning on this offensive line and Fletcher.
Yes, you do, Q. And this offensive line, a year older, a year more experienced.
Beck going to take off for the 2nd time this afternoon and slides in right at midfield. They spot it at the 50-yard line. With 18 seconds to go, a 2-yard gain for Carson Beck.
I think if you get this to a 3rd and short, they're going to take it to the 2nd quarter. But I think if you get this into a 4th and short, you're going for it behind that big offensive line and the surge that they've been able to get. But Mario Cristobal going to be able to think about it between the 1st and 2nd quarters.
They got a lot of beef on that offensive line. 345 pounds, 325, 295, 345, 335. Those pants are full up there. Back after this break.
Homecoming in Dallas, where these fans are jubilant as SMU has signed an extension to their head coach, Rhett Lashley. You go back to Springdale, Arkansas, where he was a high school quarterback. He played at Arkansas and then became a coach at the college level, often aligned with Gus Malzahn. Remember, Gus Malzahn was his high school football coach. So Lashley, after being an OC at Auburn and then Miami, extends his contract through 2032, which will keep him here in Dallas. And let me tell you, Mark, SMU will never lose a coach because of money.
Yeah, they've poured a lot of resources into their building here, in a literal sense. We met with him yesterday, and we had definitely gotten a tangible feeling that he was extremely happy where his feet were and are, and that he planned on being here for some time. And they are doing some renovations. They just opened up a new facility here a couple of years ago, and still on the positive up building stage.
You mentioned something really interesting, was that these teams are firing coaches so early that the incumbent programs have a lot of time to figure out what it's going to take to keep their current guys. SMU, Rhett Lashley, been talking about this for a while, it seemed like, as Arkansas opened up weeks ago.
Yeah.
But good on SMU for getting it done, because Rhett Lashley has really brought this program back to prominence. Mentioned earlier that the last time they won a conference championship before Rhett Lashley was 1984 in the Southwest Conference. Obviously, the journey through the death penalty and everything that meant for this program happened, but Rhett Lashley got them back, winning the American Conference Championship, getting to the ACC Championship game last year, and a college football playoff appearance. He has brought SMU back to prominence, and so good for SMU for doing everything they could to keep him here.
And you think about those extensions signed nationally, Roddy, that you mentioned, Coach Signetti at Indiana, Matt Rule at Nebraska. But when you look at Lashley, he's a family guy. He's got 4 kids. His 2 sons are in 9th grade. They'll be able to complete their high school years here in Dallas. And everywhere in the facility, we walked around yesterday, pictures of family. And so I think it comes down to 2 things for SMU success: money and people.
Those relationships count, but things can be transactional at times. Carson Beck downfield at the 8-yard line. There's a flag down. The catch made on the play by Alex Bauman, the tight end. Let's see if it stands.
I think you're going to get offensive pass interference on Malachi Toney, who was in contact with William Nettles, the corner.
Pass interference, offense, number 10. 15-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
You saw it.
So Malachi Toney runs a go down the sideline, and then he kind of gives up on the play, starts blocking with the ball's in the air. It's Alex Bauman, who then makes the catch. I think Nettles would have had a chance to pick that ball up if it wasn't for the interference. So good job by this crew of finding that.
Hey, you talk about great running backs that played here in Dallas at SMU. Eric Dickerson, one half of the Pony Express, went on to a brilliant Hall of Fame NFL career as well.
Let me say greatest athlete to ever wear the Rec specs, Eric Dickerson.
And
gotta be.
And the collar too, right?
Aiden Fearsome. Yeah.
And the neck collar?
Definitely the best running back to wear that cowboy collar.
Beck looking for Toney, incomplete at the 34.
So Mark, another offensive penalty for Miami wipes out a big gain. And this Miami offense, especially over the last couple of weeks, has really stopped themselves due to these penalties. Now they're in the 3rd and forever. You're just hoping to get in the field goal range for Carter Davis.
Got to get all the way down to the 15-yard line. Malachi Toney, one of Beck's favorite receivers on 3rd down. This season, 36% of the time. Daniels unavailable today. A bunch formation out to the top of your screen on 3rd and long. Beck completes it underneath. That's Bauman down to the 30. Pardon me, Moore down to the 30. Well within field goal range for Carter Davis.
Except for a hold on Francis Maui-Noah.
Wow.
Holding, offense, number 61. 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
So Francis Maui-Noah is lined up right here, and he's lined up against Isaiah Smith. I mean, Isaiah Smith's going to get up the field and then try and get back inside, and Maui-Noah just slings him to the ground. And so it knocks Miami even further back. 3rd and 33.
Wow.
It's never something that you want to see.
All the way back at the 48. Beck underneath to the tight end Lofton. Puts his hat down and makes it down to the 38-yard line. Stopped up by Brandon Booker. So 4th down right now really on the fringes of field goal range. Right, James also in attendance, the other half of the Pony Express. 4th and 24 coming up.
Greg James can play some ball too now. That was a fearsome duo.
They had wheels.
Oh yeah, both of them.
Wheels.
And which way you want to go? You're going to hand it to Eric Dickerson and maybe get run over and then run through. You can hand it to Craig James and do the same on the other side. Looks a little different here, the Hilltop, but it is still offensively explosive and certainly something to be proud of.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
4th down coming up. They're going to punt. You know, for those of you that don't already know,
I decline the penalty. You don't want them to go back anymore.
Correction.
Okay.
Delay game penalty is declined. 4th down.
Man, your forecasting is on point today, partner.
I mean, it's 4th and a mile. They're not going to go for it. You don't want to give them extra room for them to be able to get this ball inside the 10-yard line. This is really smart on Rhett Lashley's part.
Amir Knight back inside his own 10-yard line. Dylan Joyce punting from his own 46. Joyce averaging about 47 yards per punt. Will try and land this one inside the 10, but it caroms into the end zone, so it'll come all the way out.
And if Rhett Lashley doesn't decline that penalty, that thing hits at the 4-yard line.
Mustangs with the football when we come back.
Hey, co-pilot. How do I go there?
What sort of thrust does this thing have on it?
Hey, co-pilot, that's a cool mic. What is it?
That's the HyperX Quadcast 2S.
I hate writing about myself. Help me turn my portfolio into a bio.
Inspired by her cat Ziggy, Jenna's work
Of an ACC groundswell.
Two of the best players to ever do it at SMU, and if you don't already know, this is still the only program that has suffered the NCAA's death penalty, and what a resurrection it's been from that time. Jennings has a man. Caught downfield to the 43, Brinson. And the former Hurricane makes it 1st and 10 on the visitor side of midfield.
What's just a double move on the safety. Jacoby Thomas, Romello Brinson runs right by him. Kevin Jennings puts it up, and the big receiver creates a big play.
41 yards in all. Jennings moving around. And that's Harden out of bounds at the 35. They'll spot it. Tough catch by Harden.
Best catch we've seen all day. He snagged it with one hand.
Jennings threw it behind him a little bit.
Yeah, it was honestly like what you'd see with the Pony Express. A little option action. Tossing it out.
2nd and 5. Jennings hands it off to Harden. Nowhere to go that time. A big surge by that Miami front. Moten, Blay in on the play.
And it was caused by one of our impact players, Keontae Scott, nickel on a little blitz where he jumps inside. It's unblocked, and that forces Harden back inside into those big awaiting defensive linemen. SMU got the big play. Miami doesn't give up big plays. You have to be able to capitalize on this drive.
Loss of 2 on that previous play. 3rd down and 8. Hudson's been a favorite target of Jennings. That pass dropped. Brinson, the intended receiver.
Romello Brinson with the most drops on this team, 3 of them, and this is going to be a first down for sure. Just goes right through the hands. It's been a little slick today as we've had some rain. That might have played into it. Certainly didn't on the big play down the field. Kevin Jennings put it right on him, and SMU squanders a big play opportunity. Those are going to be hard to come by against this Miami defense. SMU not able to get anything out of it from a first down perspective. Now they're going to attempt a long field goal.
Sam Keltner going to attempt this one from 54 yards out. This would be a career long, which is 51 right now. They're going to blow it dead first. That ball caromed off the crossbar.
Before the snap, delay a game, offense.
Oh, wow.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Did they go for a 59-yard field goal?
No, not after you just see it doinked off the crossbar. It's probably a favor for SMU that they got the delay a game, because Miami would have taken over in great field position. Now you get the delay a game, and there's the doink.
Yep. Wow, costly penalty for Coach Lashley's team.
I wonder. Yeah, there they are, marking it off.
So Tony back to get this punt for the Hurricanes. He's going to stand on zone 5. It's Sparron ready to punt. Talked about how this program has bounced back from one of the most ignominious periods in its entire program history with the death penalty. And it's been a great rebuild in the last short term anyway, couple of few years, led by Coach Lashley. Tony fields it with a fair catch at the 12-yard line. With 10:19 to go. It's not the Pony Express. It's the new version. On defense when we come back to Dallas.
Barry back in studio with our AT&T Multiview, which is keeping fans connected as always. Take a look at ABC. Texas having their way with Vanderbilt early. Same can be said about Duke and Clemson, 21-7 Duke. And a fun one in the American. North Texas up 14-3 over Navy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Dallas. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, Quinn Kesnick down on the field. The Hurricanes lead 7-0.
Mark, how about that Duke Clemson score in the ACC? This is a Duke team that, as long as they don't turn the ball over, has been pretty good. And Clemson, unless they're able to come back in this one, we'll see. Talking about precipitous falls, we've seen some big ones this year. Clemson, Penn State,
head scratchers.
South Carolina in there as well. Preseason top 15 team.
Beck out of the shotgun. Fletcher hitting that A-gap. Brought down by Spears. A gain of 5 on the play as we look at the ACC standings. The Fighting Roddy Joneses perfect at 5-0. Virginia's been living really well lately, right?
They have. They're going out west to Cal today. But 3 overtime wins for Virginia, 1 game-winning safety in the dying embers of the game against Washington State. But Miami, that loss to Louisville, doesn't control their own destiny. I think there's still some chaos to be had in this league.
On the first Saturday in November, Beck has a man incomplete, picked off in the secondary by Ahmad Moses. Another interception for the Mustangs, their 13th of the season. One of the top teams in the country off the hands of JoJo Trader.
JoJo Trader has been having himself a day, and he does a really nice job at the release point, but just doesn't make the catch. And this SMU team has been one of the best in the country at picking the ball off. What a play by Ahmad Moses, the concentration to go up and snag that football. It was the right matchup to go to. JoJo Trader versus Marcellus Barnes, but now we've seen 2 receivers with a ball that might be a little slick due to the precipitation in the air. And it is a turnover party at Club Takeaway. Looks like you every time you go out.
Get behind that red velvet rope with an interception. 4th interception of the season for Moses. See if they take a shot right after. Jennings pivots, pulls, touchdown Stangs. Yamir Knight making it right. In a blink, they convert. And for Jennings, that's his 18th touchdown pass of the season. Knight's third touchdown catch. They immediately take advantage and capitalize on the INT. Folks, we're tied in Dallas.
We're going to see the safety in the middle of the field. Jacoby Thomas is going to be looking at Kevin Jennings, and as Yamir Knight releases up the field, he's just going to float to his right, and it opens up the big void in the end zone for Yamir Knight.
Homecoming weekend here at SMU. A lot of proud alumni in the building today. I'm not sure why you would let just bounce out of bounds and take it at the 35, but fielded by Marion trying to make a play. Well, there's the Taco Bell Live Más student section. Only one student section can claim the title of Live Más student section of the year. Who will take home the trophy this year? Expecting a sellout crowd here today at Gerald Ford Stadium.
Mark, you're exactly right on that kickoff. Keelan Marion lets that hit. There's a decent shot. It bounces out of bounds, and you get 25 more yards of field position. We've seen a number of times Miami inflict themselves with wounds. Catching that and then immediately going out of bounds is one of those.
First down and 10 for the Hurricanes. Marty Brown in the backfield. Ball tipped, caught by Malachi Toney, and out to the 24-yard line. Wonderful presence of mind to pick up 14.
It's one of the first times they've gotten close to Carson Beck. Jeffrey Emba gets his hand on the ball, and everybody in orange, green, and white held their breath, but who else is going to bail you out? Malachi Toney, the freshman, has been the best player on this Miami offense all year long. Of course he comes up with the football.
It's just been the way it's been all season for the Hurricanes offensively.
That's the reason he's got the nickname Baby Jesus. He makes miracles happen.
All the time. They run it over the left side of that offensive line, and the big tackle, Markel Bell. Brandon Booker makes the stop on Brown. Well, we hear that all interceptions are not created equal. That's one thing, but this is the miscue on the kickoff, Ronnie.
Yeah, if you let that bounce again, better than probably half and half shot that it bounces out of bounds and you end up on the 35-yard line. And even if it bounces inbounds and you catch it, you have an opportunity to get some positive yardage, and you probably get past the 13-yard line or the 10-yard line, wherever they started this drive. So just a little bit of a mishap by Keelan Marion being a little too aggressive, but Miami's got something going offensively once again.
From the 36. Brown in the backfield as Fletcher gets a breather on this series so far. Play fake. Beck on the move, a flag thrown on the field. And Beck throws it incomplete for Lofton, the tight end. Roddy, you had pulled up some interesting stats about Beck off of play action versus dropping back. Let's get to it after this call.
Holding, offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
They called it. They called it on Inez Cooper, the right guard, who's also the center. Carson Beck, you look at him this season, 80% completion percentage off of play action. It drops down to 69%, but I think the biggest one, only one interception on dropbacks from play action. When it's straight dropbacks, 7 of his 8 interceptions have come off of that. I think a lot of that's the clarity that play action brings down the field.
Interesting point. They keep it on the ground. Brown again. Out beyond the 30. They get spotted at the 32, a 6-yard pickup. Time winding down to the first half. And much like that Stanford game with Miami last week. It was 7-7 for most of the first half and ended that way after 2 periods before the Hurricanes broke it open, especially on the ground in the second half. 2nd and 14. Off the hands of the intended receiver at the 37. Incomplete for Bauman. Let's go down to Q.
This SMU team has all sorts of ex-Miami connections, whether it's Rhett Lashley, who was the OC there, De'Ara King, a former quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, Reggie Bain, who's Ruben's brother. And so there was some concern from Mario Cristobal this week about espionage, basically stealing of signs and knowing terminology. So he said Miami took all chances to refresh all their calls. He said he was on edge, but they went through everything from hand signals to calls, and they refreshed it to make sure that it's airtight.
Got to be secure in your corporate knowledge, and now a frustrated Carson Beck stomping towards the sidelines, and a penalty against Miami. Let's see what happened here.
Well, Carson Beck's frustrated because the play clock hits 0. He's trying to get the snap from his center, and so he's frustrated. And then guys end up jumping, so you got to delay a game. You also have a false start. It's been a frustrating start. Miami's penalties have really...
Wow. False start, offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
That penalty is actually caused by Carson Beck's frustration. Him yelling sets off the offensive line, but he's frustrated because the play clock had hit 0. So he thinks they're going to get a delay of game called. They had not called the delay of game yet.
Roddy, that's the 7th penalty against the Canes for 55 yards already. 3rd and Frisco, Texas to go, and another tipped ball. Incomplete. 4th and long. Punting time for Miami.
This defensive line for SMU has started to affect Carson Beck a little bit with pressure, especially up the middle from Jeffrey Imba and Terry Webb. There's no pressure here, but Terry Webb gets his hands up and knocks the ball down. We've seen a couple of tipped balls. We've seen a little bit of pressure in Carson Beck's lap. And it feels like the momentum has started to swing SMU's way because Miami's having one of those days where you're having a lot of self-inflicted wounds.
Joyce punting, averaging 44 on the season. A line drive. It's going to take a Miami bounce in a big way. Can they keep it out of the end zone? No, they can't. A wasted opportunity that time on a pretty good punt by Joyce, Roddy.
They basically knocked that into the end zone. I mean, I don't understand it, why you would go after it that aggressively. You're not racing anybody to the ball. If Yamir Knight picks it up, just tackle him.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would be sprinting and trying to pick it up as if it's about to go in the end zone. Let it bounce. Let it keep bouncing instead of being that aggressive with it, and then the long snapper just kind of kicks it. I mean, another special teams mishap.
Yeah.
Head scratcher.
1st and 10 coming back the other way with 6:40 to go in the first half after that 73-yard career-long punt.
That was a great punt.
Yeah. They run it into the boundary, short side of the field. That was Chris Johnson. Let's take a look at today's More Than a Home team, brought to you by Cracker Barrel. And some of the cogent numbers today. SMU's won 17 of the last 19 home games. Prior to last week, they'd won 20 of 21 conference games, actually coming into this one. Toure making the tackle on Johnson.
Man, that's a game-saving tackle by Muhammad Toure in the hole. There was nobody behind him for SMU.
Q did that great report on some of the corporate knowledge that might be left over and being careful to change signals if you're Miami. SMU sent out 3 former Hurricane players as their team captains today in a little gamesmanship. Jennings lofts it downfield, incomplete, intended for one of those 3 former Hurricanes, Romello Brinson. Roddy, I have to ask you, as a former player, What do you make of that when you see some former players coming out to represent at the toss?
I would like to make a lot out of it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, go ahead.
Nobody on Miami's sideline has any idea who the captains are on the other side. They have no clue. I never knew who the captains were, so it doesn't matter.
Well, they know who number 10 is. And Coach Lashley seemed to be a little perturbed with the fact that they punted it at Malachi Toney last time. He's going to let it bounce. Good directional punt by the Mustangs, out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. Well, time now for our Aflac trivia question. Aflac. When was the last time SMU had a home win over an AP top 10 opponent?
Man.
I actually know the answer.
Do you?
I can't remember the team, but I think I know the year.
Okay, I'm gonna go 1981 is gonna be my guess. Although I'm not even sure if they played a top 10 team. That's gonna be my guess.
I'm gonna go 83.
You know the answer. Are you telling us the answer? Or you,
No,
or
I'm kind of guessing. I think
you off the scent.
I can't remember whether it was something I saw in the notes or not. I'm guessing, kind of. First and 10 for Carson Beck. Toney in motion. And there he is. Malachi Toney attracting a lot of attention. They don't need a GPS to find that guy. Ahmad Moses and Kyron Chambers making the tackle on the 3-yard gain. We're going to answer the Aflac trivia question right away. Aflac. Last time SMU had a home win over an AP top 10 opponent. Tell me.
Oh, wow. 1974. I mean,
Texas.
You have to have top 10 teams coming in, and when they were going through Conference USA and the American and all, it's hard to get top 10 teams in here, but that's a long time.
They'll keep it on the ground. Mark Fletcher. That was the old Southwest Conference days, I'm guessing, with Texas in '74.
Timeout for defensive players' helmets.
Pardon me, Texas A&M.
Let's just say Southwest Conference was doing NIL before NIL.
They were ahead of the curve.
SMU got caught and got the hardest penalty, but they weren't the only ones. There were a lot of teams doing it back then. It's a big third down, though, for SMU. They played a lot of zone coverage, which allows Malachi Toney to be able to find soft spots in that zone. You have to be able to affect Carson Beck if you do indeed drop back in zone.
On 3rd and 3, they're 3 of 6 on 3rd down. And Miami disjointed and disconcerted right now. Another penalty.
Start offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's 8 penalties for 60 yards.
You're a South Floridian. Does DJ Khaled have a spot down there? Because that for Miami was another one.
Yeah, he does. And he's not saying we the best right now in terms of offense.
Malachi Toney in the slot right there. That's what you got to find if you're SMU.
Beck. Complete to Marion. And that's on SMU side of midfield at the 47-yard line. Picked up 16 on the play, 1st and 10.
Well, it starts with the protection, which is excellent. But Keelan Marion in zone coverage just gets over to the middle of the field. There's no linebacker there. It's in front of the DBs. And a nice delivery by the experienced Carson Beck. SMU can't be giving up 3rd and longs against this Miami offense.
Fletcher in the backfield. 4 receivers out on this formation. Beck with a clean pocket. Broken up. Good closing speed to jar that loose by Marcellus Barnes Jr. Arguably their best cover corner and good length at 6'1".
He's had a tough day today covering JoJo Trader, but that time in that zone coverage, breaks on the football and knocks the ball out.
Intended for Tony Johnson, sets up 2nd down and 10. Marion will split wide to the top of your screen. Johnson at the bottom.
Miami's been able to have a lot of surge in the run game. It's felt like they've kind of gotten away from that a little bit.
Toney in motion again. They hand it off to Fletcher. They go back to it there, Roddy. Down to the 43-yard line. Kyron Chambers making the tackle on that 3-yard pickup. Under 3.5 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. 3rd down and 7 coming up for Miami. JoJo Trader comes back into the football game. There was that tipped pass off his hands that led to the interception and subsequent touchdown for SMU.
And the pre-snap look looks like SMU is going to be in zone coverage again. If you're not able to get around Carson Beck and get him off the spot, it gives him a lot of time to find somebody.
Play clock. They did not get that off in time unless they called a timeout, which they seem to have done. They have been perilously close several times to not getting the playoff.
Miami, their second and
Carson Beck was frustrated then because he felt like he had control of it, and I think they were going to get away with it. The snap happened almost simultaneously as the play clock went to 0. Likely would not have been called delay a game. We didn't see a flag come out. I think they would have gotten that snap off. So Carson Beck, the experienced quarterback, frustrated because I think he felt like he had a good handle on the play clock and a good play against what started looking like zone. And then SMU showed man coverage and was going to bring a big blitz.
Hey, the next UFC Fight Night is tonight exclusively on ESPN+. The prelims are going on right now, actually, and the main card begins at 7 Eastern, highlighted by the featherweight main event. Watch on the all-new ESPN app. Here on homecoming weekend at SMU, tied at 7. Miami looking to improve to 7-1. SMU, meanwhile, you think about it, 2 of their 3 losses this year have come on walk-off field goals, so they have been frighteningly close. Could be a different story altogether right now with just 1 loss as well.
And they're coming off their worst performance of the season, probably the Rhett Lashley era against Wake Forest. They look a lot better today offensively, and the defense is doing its part.
Got to get to the 37 to pick up the first down. Incomplete. No flag on the play intended for Tony. Chambers breaking it up. And it's 4th down. Stang's defense gets off the field.
That is such a good play by the 5th-year senior Isaiah Wacobia, the safety who was first-team All-ACC. Malachi Tony's just going to come up and break in, and Wacobia does a really nice job of being patient. You wait for Wacobia, or you wait for Tony to break the route, and then you break. You don't bite until he commits. He is all over it and ends up knocking the ball out. And excuse me, that was Kyron Chambers, not Isaiah Wacobia. Really nice job by Chambers.
Dylan Joyce into punt again from his own 43. And a fair catch called at the 8-yard line. Well, it's almost time for the first college football playoff rankings release, folks. Tuesday, November 4th on ESPN. We have the College Football Playoff Top 25 show presented by Allstate. As we get ready for the release, let's see what the Allstate Playoff Predictor has so far. Miami had a 47% chance to reach the college football playoff. Do you like that number? Would you think it's higher or lower?
Sitting here at halftime, almost halftime of a 7-7 game, I think it's probably
okay.
I think it might be a little lower. I do feel like if Miami wins out at 11-1, they're going to get in the college football playoff. The question is, can they do that? I think that 47% feels a little low.
Okay.
But Miami, hasn't looked great at times this season.
Hibner, the tight end, forced out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. And fans, don't forget to go to ESPN.com/Allstate Playoff Predictor to check out your team's chances to make the college football playoff.
It's a fun interactive tool. You can pick your team, say, all right, it'll ask you their 3 highest rated matchups, or the 3 matchups that they're most likely to lose. Do they win? Do they lose? And then it spits you out an answer, and it'll even spit out a bracket and say you've got an X% chance of winning the national championship. It's fun.
Have to check that out on the all-new ESPN app. Got to look at the playmaker, Michael Irvin. Back where he made himself a wonderful, productive football player here in Dallas, and former Miami Hurricane, attended St. Thomas Aquinas. It's been a little bit of a frustrating afternoon for the punter and the quarterback. Back with more in just a moment.
We back like a spine. Back like reversing out the.
Ohio State in a bit of danger against Penn State. We'll have highlights of that one. Plus, another upset in the Big 12 brewing and a wild season in that conference. Plus, Arch Manning and Texas off to a good start against Vanderbilt. Right here, Arch Manning, second touchdown of the first half, 200 yards overall. EJ Manuel joins me. We'll have highlights coming up.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Back here, it'll be SMU football from their own 15-yard line. First down and, pardon me, 2nd and 3. Jennings going through his progression. Took a big hit at the 13-yard line from Jacoby Thomas. And Thomas took the brunt of that. Slow to get up.
It looked like Kevin Jennings was going to have a lot of room, but Jacoby Thomas
defensive player injury.
breaking off
potential 10-second runoff.
Breaking off of his route, closing down, and hitting Kevin Jennings. He's banged up. Now it's going to be interesting. So clock stops due to the injury. Here's what it looked like. Kevin Jennings nowhere to go, finds a little space. Thomas breaks it off. You see the hard impact on that shoulder. It'll be interesting to see here with a 3rd and medium, 3rd and 3, so 3rd and short, if Rhett Lashley accepts the 10-second runoff or declines it. Because if you don't get the first down, obviously Miami gets the ball back, 1 timeout. And so if you're thinking that, then you probably accept the 10-second runoff, let that time run off. But then
injury, and there's a 10-second runoff.
If
Please
you do
reset
take
the game clock to 1 minute, 39 seconds. And
so he accepts it
on my signal.
You do take the 10-second runoff. It affects you if you get the first down. Obviously, you have 10 less seconds. I think it's smart by Rhett Lashley to go ahead and do that just to be safe on the back end. And you have 2 timeouts. Still plenty of time.
Good to see Thomas able to walk off the field under his own agency. 3rd and 3 coming up in a game that some people might feel is a little bit closer than thought it would be. Miami a favorite in this game.
Double-digit favorite in this game. But the way Miami plays offensively, slow possession, it sort of lends itself to closer games, especially early on at halftime. But the self-inflicted wounds by Miami on offense and special teams, and then the bust on defense after an interception, that's what has us here tied up.
Hurricanes coming into this football game ranked number 10 in the country. SMU 1 of 5 on 3rd downs today. Jordan Hudson splitting wide to the top of your screen. Brinson also out that way as well. Jennings looks right. Is going to be sacked back at the 7-yard line by Marquise Lightfoot. And the Canes defense gets a sack. No, it wasn't Bain or Messidor, but they got to him. Second one of the season for him.
It was not, but Keontae Scott just blitzes off the edge, and as they try and roll out, it stops Kevin Jennings from being able to get outside and forces him back to the inside to the awaiting defensive lineman. They were trying to get a rollout to the field so that you could get away from having to protect.
It's 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Timeout Miami. Jason Taylor does an outstanding job with those defensive linemen for the Miami Hurricanes, in particular Ruben Bain, a guy that he works extremely closely with. There's a look at the former Miami Dolphin, a very good coach and potentially a talented head coach maybe in the future. Started off at St. Thomas High School coaching there. He has a son that plays football as well. And this defensive unit has some talent. We're very well coached.
And Jason Taylor brings a certain professional level of nuances and subtleties to coaching this D-line. Pre-game working with Messidor and then working with Ruben Bain. And you stand on this sideline, the relationship between Taylor and Bain is off the charts close. Taylor on 3rd down situations will actually signal to Ruben what pass rush move he wants his young junior defensive end to utilize.
Now, who would want to be coached by a Hall of Famer like Jason Taylor?
I certainly would.
Yeah, especially at that position, man. take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Like Bain looking at some of the pictures on the sideline. Ohio State, Penn State in a tight game right now, 17-14.
And Mark, Miami's got 2 returners back, Keelan Marion with Malachi Toney. They've been kicking away from Toney, so Miami trying to encourage a return.
Hurricanes are out of timeouts when they get the football here. This will be Malachi Toney from the 44. Got a block from Marion. Got a wall out there. Malachi, one man to beat. And finally forced out of bounds inside the 10. So the strategy, Roddy, worked of sending back 2 punt returners. It'll be 1st and goal, Hurricane.
Well, Keelan Marion being out there makes sure that one of these guys is going to have a chance. I would have picked Marion because Malachi Toney, good things happen when he has the football. Once again, setting up Miami in great field position. Remember last week, the offense was sputtering in the first half. They couldn't get anything going, couldn't get out of their own way. Well, the beginning of the second half, Malachi Toney has 2 big punt returns to set this offense up in great field position, and he's done it here again. The one thing that SMU could not have happened, and that's a Toney explosion inside the 10-yard line.
Hurricanes have to work expeditiously after that 47-yard punt return. They don't have any timeouts remaining. 1st and goal. Into the end zone, Beck overshoots Toney, stops the clock with 44 seconds to go. Ahmad Moses was there in coverage. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Strategy-wise, Miami's going to have 2 more chances to be able to get in the end zone before you kick a field goal. I actually think you can run the ball here on 2nd down. Okay. You got plenty of time to get back up to the line of scrimmage, get set for 3rd down, and then you're going to have to throw it and get an incompletion or a touchdown on 3rd down.
Beck completed the 5-yard line to the tight end Lofton. 3rd and goal coming up, clock running.
Got to hurry up to the line of scrimmage, but you got plenty of time. You've got 15-ish seconds before you have to snap the ball. So you want to work with some urgency, but you don't have to hurry.
They got the play call. Mark Fletcher in the backfield, 4 receivers on this formation. And SMU, well, we have a whistle here.
2nd charge, timeout, SMU.
SMU will burn
timeout.
one of its remaining timeouts.
To 15 seconds. Thank you.
Roddy, for the 2nd consecutive week, we see Miami in a tight football game at the half, just like Stanford last week. It's 7 apiece. In terms of play calling, put on your offensive coordinator hat. What do you like here if you're the Hurricanes?
Malachi Toney.
Yeah.
You don't have C.J. Daniels in the game, so the fade ball to Daniels is kind of taken off the table. So I think you find number 10. You're likely to get man coverage down here. And Malachi Toney, short area quickness-wise, is the guy you go to. And even if they go zone, he's got such a good feel of where to find those soft spots in the zone and a good connection with Carson Beck. I think that's where you're looking first. But we just saw Elijah Lofton catch a ball. Ultimately, if you're SMU, you have to be able to affect Carson Beck on this play. Get some pressure on him, get your hands up, maybe a ball batted down.
Moore, a tall target at 6'4", split to the top of your screen. Beck pulls, incomplete, jarred loose on the goal line by Miyazono. Broken up, Lofton couldn't put it away, and a jarring hit knocked it loose, and there's the residual effect of it right there.
Elijah Lofton is feeling it, but Carson Beck delivers this ball to the back shoulder of Lofton so he doesn't hit Miyazono. And Brandon Miyazono does just a tremendous job of breaking on the football and dislodging that ball.
So they're going to have to settle for the field goal from Carter Davis here, 6 of 7 on the season. This one, chip shot from 22 yards out. SMU burns a
Before the
timeout.
snap, timeout was called SMU.
A touchdown-saving hit a moment ago by
30-second timeout.
the Will linebacker, Brandon Maiazono, saying to Lofton, don't come in Maiazono. You're going to get tagged and tapped.
If Carson Beck had seen that a fraction of a second sooner, you probably are able to get it to Elijah Lofton before Maiazono can make a break on it, but Beck was working through his progressions to get there. Didn't lead his receiver into that hit, but Maiazono, who was a couple yards in the end zone, really hard on that play. And I would say ultimately a disappointing end of the half for Miami after the big punt return inside the 10-yard line from Malachi Toney.
Don't want to leave too much meat on the bone in games like this on the road in conference play. Davis from 22 yards out. Light work for Carter Davis, who's now 7 of 8 on the season. Miami taking a 3-point lead with 7 seconds to go, and yeah, you would have to consider that a little bit of a win for SMU, partner.
Rhett Lashley is pumping up his defense, as well he should. Great job by that defense of holding Miami to just a field goal attempt. SMU gets the ball first in the second half. So I think if you're SMU, you're feeling good about the place that you're in. You settled into this game. Miami frustrated on the other side. Take away that big return from Malachi Toney, it's a different ball game, but
yeah. 7 seconds to go in the first half. Rhett Lashley reportedly coming to terms on a new agreement, extending his contract with SMU. 7 years. And this is part of the reason why. Things trending in the right direction here in Dallas. They have branded themselves as Dallas's college football team. And they've already got a top 25 recruiting class coming in as well.
It's a big recruiting weekend for SMU. They've done a really nice job.
It's a great area.
It is. I mean, it's chock full of talent. You can't throw a stone at a high school and not hit a D1 talent. But they've done a really nice job of those high school relationships, getting commitments from big-time players. This is really their first recruiting class last year's as a Power 4 program. Arrows pointing up for the Ponies, although they are down 3 at halftime.
That's why he came here, and that's why he's staying here. Meanwhile, back in Liberty City and Brown sub, Hurricanes fans a little concerned, leading by 3. First half, leaving Mario Cristobal feeling busted and not to be trusted. Getting ready for the third quarter. You're watching ESPN College Football, presented by ServPro. This is the ACC on ESPN. Under a benevolent sky here in Dallas. SMU trailing by a field goal, but they will have the football to start the third quarter. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, Quinn Kesnick down in the field. Miami offense unable to find its rhythm, the result of a lot of penalties in that first half. Clayton Johnson and Link Rhodes back deep for the SMU Mustangs. This is going to be Rhodes. And he's brought down at the 21-yard line, first down and 10 for Kevin Jennings from there. Here's a look at the numbers in the first half. As we check out the first half stats brought to you by Tums. 8 penalties, total of 60 yards. That might have been one of the more hurtful things for Miami.
It's really felt like Miami's defense has controlled this game, but an interception set up SMU with great field position. They've got a bust down the field, and SMU scores off of it. SMU has 93 yards on 3 plays, 3 big plays, only 121 total. So without the big plays, Miami's defense has really done a nice job.
Jennings pulls it out, backside pressure. He put it on the ground, and the Hurricanes recover it. Ruben Bain Jr. there to take advantage of that hit by Xavier Lucas.
The ruling on the field. fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Miami.
Well, Lucas is going to blitz, and he's actually going to hesitate when Kevin Jennings kind of hesitates himself. He pauses to see who has the ball, and then the question is Kevin Jennings' arm moving forward when that hit comes? I thought that it was a fumble in real time, but obviously being reviewed, Lucas hesitating to see, does a running back have the ball, does the quarterback, and then knocks it out.
Bain with the recovery.
You see possession of the ball, and then you see the ball, and then the hand going forward with the possession of the ball going forward.
I agree.
This is going to be ruled an incomplete pass. Are we all in agreement?
Yes, absolutely. Good job. We're going to go back to the 21-yard line, and it'll be second down, position 1. Position.
So we're going to have. So it's going to be position 1, and we're going to have 2nd and 10.
Got it. Perfect. Thanks, guys.
And the
That previous play under review from the ACC Game Day Operations Center in Charlotte.
After further review, it's an incomplete pass. Second down.
So they'll have another opportunity.
Really cool look behind the scenes that we see every week from the ACC. And I agree upon the review. I think this is the view that shows you that arm does start to move forward when Kevin Jennings gets hit. It was bang, bang in real time, but SMU gets away with one there because a fraction of a second sooner, and it's probably a fumble.
2nd and 10 as a result. Harden in the backfield. Jennings to pass again. Flushed out by Bain. Pass caught at the 36 by Hudson. 1st and 10, Ponies. 14-yard gain. Back up to the line of scrimmage quickly.
SMU got away with one. They had 2 guys for Ruben Bain, and neither one of them touched the defensive end.
Jennings completes another pass. And that's going to be ruled out of bounds at the 41. Catch by Hibner.
Yeah, this was Jordan Hudson just finding space and making himself available to the quarterback, showing him his numbers when Kevin Jennings starts to scramble, work out, stay in his vision.
Jennings complete on the back shoulder fade. Boy, nice catch by Hibner again. Down to the 43-yard line, 1st and 10.
Matthew Hibner got banged up in the last game, but that a really nice catch against Keontae Scott, the nickel.
Good for 16 yards. In rhythm, Jennings completes another one, and another first down to Brinson, the former Hurricane, out of bounds at the 25.
And because SMU has been able to get into their tempo, we've seen some substitutions on the defensive line. Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor a little more fatigued than they were to start the drive.
Good for 18 yards. Jennings, hot shooter right now, and incomplete, intended for Brinson again. Defended by Lucas. 2nd and 10 coming up. How much of an equalizer has the tempo been, if at all, so far?
It's hard to say it's been a big equalizer.
Okay.
It's been successful when SMU's gotten into it. But ultimately, the touchdown that SMU scored came off of the interception, the turnover. So it has impacted the game some, but Miami defensively has still been pretty good, even with the tempo.
McFall motions out of the backfield. Jennings looking to run. Now gets rid of it, completes it. Hudson pushed out of bounds inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal, SMU.
And Kevin Jennings got rid of the ball just before he crossed the line of scrimmage.
It was close.
It was close, but the quarterback's entire body and the ball has to be across the line of scrimmage for it to be a legal forward pass.
On 1st and goal, hands it off. McFall. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 3-yard line, picked up 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and goal. One more look.
This is what it looked like. Yeah, I mean, he is right on it. His lead foot is across, but that back foot and the arm behind the line of scrimmage. Well done by Kevin Jennings, keeping it alive until the very last instant before he crossed.
Despite the fact that he's playing on a bad wheel, has that bad ankle he suffered a couple of weeks ago, he seems to be moving pretty well here.
Yeah. And it's been the scramble game, Mark. It hasn't necessarily been him rushing the football.
McFall in the backfield on 2nd and goal. Jennings looking for a seam. Tucks it under. Touchdown! Mustangs, who take the lead. Jennings with his second rushing touchdown of the season. The extra point good, and SMU leads by 4.
Well, they try and block Ruben Bain with a guard, and he actually forces the pressure. But Akeem Mesidor, number 3, he's going to be in the middle of your screen right there. Watch out how he's slow getting out there. That is the effect of tempo down the field. The defensive end who's played play after play after play at speed, not able to get out on the quarterback as quickly as we would expect. Kevin Jennings able to break the defense and get in the end zone. That's the effect of that tempo, Mark, that we were talking about. Those defensive ends getting a little more tired late in the drive, not able to get out on a fast quarterback.
Seemed to take his wind and his legs away right there, and Jennings winning that foot race into the end zone. First lead of the football game for SMU. Talked about Jennings playing on that bad ankle, but he's got a lot of toughness and temerity. His father taught him that as a youngster. His dad played college football at Texas A&M Commerce. In the stands watching his son perform today. On the return, this is Marion. And he's pushed out of bounds at about the 26. It'll be 1st and 10 for Carson Beck and the Hurricane offense. Let's go down to Q.
There's been a change in the temperature with the sun coming out. There's also been a change in the temperature in this game. Rhett Lashley bemoaning the fact that during the first half his offense could only rush for -6 yards. They changed things on that last drive with some runs by their quarterback Jennings. Now the key though, that was the tempo. And he said when we have success on first down and we can get that initial first down like a snowball, SMU's offense picks up momentum. So it's critical for them to get the first down in each drive. And last thing he's told me, Mark, he says we can't be punting the ball to Malachi Tony.
Good stuff, Q. Out of the backfield, pass complete to Johnson. Tony Johnson broke a couple of tackles and made it all the way out near the 33-34 yard line. Hey, this is the first time that Miami has ventured outside the state of Florida for the entire season. 2 months into it. But look at the drop off as we hit the first Saturday in November here this year. Historically, going back to 2022, there has been a precipitous drop in win percentage.
Miami was undefeated in November last year before going to Georgia Tech, losing that game, and then later in the season losing against Syracuse. It's curious. I'm not sure there's a great explanation for it.
Mark Fletcher pounding away for the first down. Out to the 38-yard line, got 4 yards on the carry. Finishing is part of the adage and part of the lexicon for the University of Miami this year when you look at those numbers. They're aware of it.
They are, and you can't harp too much on it. It's a different team every year. I mean, this team has a new quarterback, new pieces around him. But if I'm Miami, I'm getting back to that, running the football.
Beck checks it down to Fletcher, brought down almost immediately at the 42-yard line, picked up 4 yards. Cobia made the tackle, so the second down coming up. Mark Fletcher, of course, the emotional leader of that Hurricane football team. Pre-game, he always hangs a shirt adorned with his dad's name on it in his locker. Big Mark, his late father, was a dad to a lot of players on this Hurricane football team. Here he is hitting that edge out near midfield at about the 49 and picks up the first down. William Nettles forced him out on the 7-yard gain.
Well, that quick motion by Malachi Tony in the fake reverse takes the corner inside a little bit, and then a couple good blocks on the edge allows Miami to get outside the defense and get a positive gain. And I think Shannon Dawson's capacity for boredom, like Q talked about, is going to be tested in this second half. They've had success running the football.
On the blitz, Beck off the play action finds Tony for the first down at the 33. Moses brought him down, and there's a flag down all the way back at the 37-yard line. Let's see if this play stands or not.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
That's going to go against Jeffrey Emba. We had a great meeting with yesterday.
He's able to get into the backfield. James Brockermeyer gets him a little bit. We don't see the end of that play. We certainly didn't see a roughing the passer there. Maybe a high hit to the quarterback.
Emba's going to come back in the football game. Let's bring in Jerry. Jerry, your thoughts on that and why?
So I thought the timing was good, but as Rowdy mentioned, the hit could have been high, but also the one thing we didn't see was whether he drove the quarterback into the ground. That very easily could have happened.
Thanks, Jerry. It's a 1st and 10. Tony in motion. Fletcher with a yawning hole all the way down inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. 1st and goal, Miami. Mark Fletcher with a 14-yard gallop.
Well, you're going to get great blocks on the right side, and then a puller comes around to kick out. It's just a really nice job by this offensive line that continues to grind you into a pulp in the second half of football games. It's why Miami likes to run it early on. It's to set up the second half for that big offensive line that goes 345, 325, 295, 345, 335 across. Starts to wear you down.
Beck into the end zone. Room service. Touchdown Bauman. And the Hurricanes retake the lead. He was wide open. Boy, that's how you respond. Remember what happened last week? It was tied at 7 against Stanford, and they went on to win 42-7. That's the first touchdown reception this season for Alex Bauman. And Miami leads by a field goal with 9:06 to go in the 3rd quarter. Well, Roddy, they got back to their running game, which seemed to catalyze that drive. And they lead when we come back to Dallas. Chance to reach the ACC championship. Virginia at 46. Miami at 31. And Louisville, Duke rounding up those 5 teams.
I think Pitt should be on that list. They play both Georgia Tech and Miami down the stretch. You got to win those games.
Yeah.
I guess analytics says they're probably not going to win them.
Boy, Rhodes going to run it out of the end zone. Not sure about that discernment, but he's going to be brought down at the 12-yard line. First and 10 from there.
I am sure that was poor discernment. It was a terrible decision. You're 9 yards deep in the end zone. Here's the top 7 in the ACC conference. 7 teams with 1 or fewer losses. Miami with the most games to go. Still 5 ACC games to go. Georgia Tech only has 3 of them. But interesting, you mentioned, or we saw it earlier, of those top 6, Duke is on the road, Georgia Tech on the road, Virginia on the road. A lot of road teams.
I tell you, I love the way Haynes King is playing quarterback this year for your alma mater. 9 minutes to go in the 3rd. Little tunnel screen complete. A good tackle at the 16-yard line on the play by Jacoby Thomas.
But a good gain on the RPO from SMU. Safety comes down, toss it out, get to a 2nd and 5.
Jennings tipped at the line and harmlessly incomplete. Justin Scott got a hand up. So it'll be 3rd down and 5 coming up.
It's a nice job by Justin Scott. We talked about it earlier. Kevin Jennings has had some balls batted down this year. And now you've got to deal with Miami on 3rd downs. They've tried to do some different things, moving the pocket to get Kevin Jennings away from this rush. But you're going to have to deal with Ruben Bain. At the top of your screen, one of the best pass rushers in the country.
On 3rd and 5, wide open and dropped. TJ Harden forgot to make the catch first. And when I say that he had open real estate and chattel in front of him. Look at this.
There's nobody there. You get a slant from the receiver that brings the corner in, and there is nobody between TJ Harden and certainly the first down, but only one person between he and the end zone. I mean, that is just a crushing drop. You have wide open. They didn't block Bain, knowing that they were going to throw it past them. Great call by Rhett Lashley, just poor execution.
Wade McSparron punting from his own 3-yard line, his 5th punt of the afternoon. Malachi Toney back at his own 37. A high end-over-end punt. Toney watches it bounce at the 37. And it rolls all the way down to the 25, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Carson Beck. I think after that 57-yard punt.
I think the sun saved SMU on that punt, or else Malachi Toney would have been able to catch it.
That's a great point. But look at this. Speaking of catching it, that's what you got to do first.
You by Peter Millar. Luxury meets performance.
I picked a bad time to stop eating red meat, Roddy.
Lucky for me, I did not follow your path there. I wonder if they can make us a plate and bring it up here, because
brisket.
That brisket looks good.
So we've enjoyed our time here in Dallas, getting ready for this football game. Had a nice meal at Cocktail and Kitchen yesterday. Some jerk chicken and black-eyed peas and collard greens, and something that you could enjoy with that guy, Michael Irvin, the playmaker, one of the best to ever do it. Watching from the sidelines. 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes from the 25. Jordan Lyle in the backfield. Beck. Incomplete out of the backfield, intended for Lyle. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Miyazono are in coverage.
Well, SMU is creeping a safety down into the box. They're playing a lot of one high, which means they're bringing one of those safeties down to encourage Miami not to run the football, to make the numbers favorable to throw the ball. And Miami's had some success there, but I think SMU's ability to sort of dictate what Miami's going to do. I mean, look at Isaiah Wacobia sort of creeping there in the middle.
And Miami ends up running it on this occasion. Lyle tripped up, might have picked up 2 yards, setting up a 3rd down and 8 now.
These are the 3rd and longs that Miami at times today has had success converting, because SMU hasn't consistently gotten pressure on Carson Beck. But when they have been able to, they've been able to bat some balls down. They've been able to affect him a little bit. Question for SMU is, where is Malachi Toney? 36% of the 3rd down targets go to number 10, Malachi Toney.
There he is. Beck, complete. Out to the 48-yard line. It's Keelan Marion on the catch. And they move the chains on the 21-yard completion.
The absence of C.J. Daniels, who's the other big target. Keelan Marion has stepped up on a couple of these 3rd and longs. It's a really good job on the inbreaker, delivering it from Carson Beck.
Keelan Marion, the BYU transfer, one of the top kickoff returners in the country a season ago. Beck checks it down. Toney with the catch. Down to the 44-yard line. Ahmad Moses making the tackle for the Mustangs. And we have an injured player down in the field for SMU. That's Ahmad Moses. Take a look at the numbers on Carson Beck. 17 to 26 with a touchdown today.
Timeout for a defensive player injured.
It's a lot of attempts today already for Carson Beck. 29 attempts so far in this game. It's been a pass-heavy game plan. The one interception, all interceptions are not created equal. That one wasn't on Carson Beck. That was a drop by JoJo Trader that popped up into the air, and a really nice play by Ahmad Moses, who injured on this play. I mean, he is one of the best players on this defense. You can see him walking very gingerly off the field, the captain.
Q?
Yeah, Beck's been very efficient, not flashy since his 4-interception performance against Louisville 2 weeks ago. This is a guy super experienced, 6-year senior, 30 career wins. He's 30-4 as a starter, 22 years old now, and I just get the sense that he's very much in control. He's playing within this system, and he's not trying to make the flashy or highlight play, Mark.
It's a great point, Q. He's done a great job of working back to his checkdowns quickly, not getting greedy. It's a great point.
2nd and 2. Hurricanes will pick up the first down on the ground. That's Jordan Lyle again, down at the 38-yard line. We talk about patience being the key for the Hurricanes offensively in the run game in particular. And we have an SMU player.
It's going to cost
down.
It's going to cost SMU a timeout. The ball was spotted.
Sure looked like
the player went down.
Charge timeout. SMU, their first time out of the half.
That's Terry Webb, number 4, the starting defensive tackle.
And this is the part of that rule that I understand why they put it in, but I don't like this part of the rule because Terry Webb is clearly banged up. He's trying to get off the field, but Miami hurries to the line of scrimmage. And he was kind of in a place where it was going to be hard for him to get back to tough it out. It was going to be hard for him to get off the field. You'd like for in that situation the player to just stay down, but I mean he's doing his best to not have that stoppage, especially after getting up and working it out and saying, "No, I can't go." It's unfortunate that SMU has to burn a timeout there, although I understand why that rule is in there.
What do you make of it, Jerry?
Yeah, this year the coaches have done a really good job notifying their players that if they are injured, they must stay down. They cannot try and play the hero role and try and stay in and then all of a sudden go down later, because that will cost them a timeout, as in this case.
Yeah, but as a player, sometimes you don't know until you stand up.
Exactly.
It hurts too bad. So I don't like that implementation of a rule that's there for a good reason.
On the jet sweep, Tony hit immediately, falling forward for a gain of about 1 on the play. You're right, Roddy. As a player, you're thinking, oh, okay, I'm a little shook, but let me give this a try. And then you decide, your body says, no, you're not going to give it a try.
You know, I mean, it's a collision sport. You know how many times you feel like, I don't know, and then you stand up and you're like, okay, I'm good. Sometimes it goes the other way. I mean, it probably happens to Terry Webb every 3rd play. So I understand it, but certainly I just hate it in those scenarios.
Beck has completed 7 of his last 8 passes. Lyle again, stopped up at about the 32 by Kilgore, picked up 5. Well, tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown before the Chiefs battle the Bills, Alex Smith goes all access with Patrick Mahomes on the art of off-platform throws. Plus, live from Detroit before J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings take on the Lions, and Randy's best catches from the week in You Got Moss. Sunday, NFL Countdown, 10 Eastern on ESPN.
These 3rd downs feel like they are just building in magnitude for SMU defensively. They've had a hard time getting off the field on these 3rd and mediums.
They keep it on the ground again. Lyle stopped up shy of the first down by that much. So we're looking at 4th and about 1. And Fletcher will come into the ball game for the Hurricanes. Their big bruising back. And try and maraud his way through that defensive line. 4th down and 3.
No, it's about 4th and 1.
Okay, it says 4th and 3 in the graphic.
Yeah, I mean,
thought so.
It's about 3 feet, and they're going to get behind that big offensive line most likely. Those 2 guys in the middle, Terry Webb and Jeffrey Imba, have to come up big if Miami's going to run it up the middle.
And the Hurricanes are going to call a timeout here. Burn one of their 3 remaining timeouts. 10-16 on 4th downs this year. Back after this. You're watching ESPN College Football presented by Serve Pro. Miami Hurricanes going to go for it here on 4th down and about 1 to go on this, the 9th play of the drive.
They love the right side of that offensive line. Francis Mauinoa and Inez Cooper, both well over 300 pounds. Their best 2 run blockers.
And Mark Fletcher in the backfield. Tony in motion. It's going to be Fletcher, and he might not have got it. I don't think he got to the first down mark. They ran it to the left, and SMU will take over on downs. They come up with the stop on a pivotal 4th down.
And Mark, it's Terry Webb who just does a magnificent job of splitting 2 offensive linemen to create some penetration and throw this play off. We saw Webb go off the field a little bit ago. He is healthy, he is back out there, and he made an impact on that 4th down. Number 4, Terry Webb. Watch how he gets between the tight end and Markel Bell, and that's what forces the 4th down stop. It's a really nice job by Terry Webb with the swim move to create some penetration.
There was nowhere to go for Fletcher. Jennings delivers, and it's incomplete. Setting up a 2nd down and 10 under a brilliant sky here on homecoming weekend. We're going to take in some of the sights and sounds and let you hear the game for a while. The undistilled sights and sounds of the game, and unfortunately an injury to Kevin Jennings on this play.
He got rolled up earlier in the drive and came up a little hobbled. He's been battling injury really since the Baylor game, week 2, and week after week it's gotten tweaked a little bit, but Ty Hawkins, the backup, true freshman in the game.
Out of the shotgun, going to have him hand it off to McFall. Boy, how does this impact their offensive package, having Ty Hawkins come in, a freshman from San Antonio?
You're going to have to distill it down a little bit to things that Ty Hawkins is comfortable with, but when we asked the coaches about him yesterday, offensive coordinator Casey Woods described him as fearless. He is going to need to be against the top 10 team at home as Kevin Jennings tries to work it out. They had a really good drive going, but he's a freshman with a great deep ball, and he's good enough. He was good enough to beat their backup, beat him out in the spring, forcing a transfer, so they really like the talent.
Miami bringing some pressure. He throws it incomplete. And there's going to be a flag on the play against the Hurricanes, intended for Hibner. Jacoby Thomas was defending on the play. With 91 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and a significant plot twist with the leg injury to Kevin Jennings, the starting quarterback for SMU.
Pass interference, defense, number 8. Automatic 1st down.
Thomas was holding him like a grudge that time.
And Kevin Jennings back on the field. He came on the field fired up, clapping to his teammates, trying to hype him up. And we asked him yesterday, how do you keep doing this? How do you keep getting banged up and coming back out? And he said, look, it's his mom and his dad that really taught him to have that toughness, and he wants to be out there with his brothers.
Knight play of the drive. Jennings back in, throws it complete to Ymir Knight.
Getting pass, complete to number 8, Ymir Knight. He's pushing it out to number 41. Just split. He was in 2nd down.
Off that incompletion, SMU will attempt a game-time field goal from 43 yards out. Off the toe of Sam Keltner. We are knotted at 17 in this, the biggest game being played here at home since 1983. A top 10 opponent on homecoming weekend. SMU has drawn even with 7 seconds to go in the third quarter. Kevin Jennings able to come back in, getting a little bit more giddy up in his gallop, just like that pony running across the field right now. A 10-play drive, 44 yards, using just under 4 minutes on the clock. What'd you make of, as we went strictly sights and sounds, the sight of him moving around in the pocket? Thumbs up or thumbs down or somewhere in between?
I give him a thumbs up based on what he's been dealing with. I mean, over and over and over, we've seen the toughness of Kevin Jennings on full displays. He's never really been able to get back to 100%. And even on that third down play, was able to get out of the pocket. And Jordan Hudson gave up on the route, turned up when Kevin Jennings slung it out to him.
Hurricanes will have it 1st and 10 from their own 25. Let's check in with the studio.
All right, Jones, a couple of updates for you here in the early window. Arch Manning in Texas. Emmett Mosley over the middle. 31-10 at that point. Pavia just scored to make it 34-16. 2-point conversion, no good. And it's your day when this happens. Tip, Jeremiah Smith, touchdown Buckeyes. They are rolling Penn State 38-14.
Jeremiah Smith, a South Florida native, committed to the Buckeyes early in the process. Mark Fletcher in the backfield on 1st and 10. Carson Beck on the sticks at quarterback. 7 seconds to go in the third period. Malachi Tony on the receiver screen. And a quick tackle on him at the 27. He has been somewhat muted by that defense today. But the usually implacable receiver still ready to do work with 15 minutes to go here in Dallas. It'll be set. Welcome back, everybody, to Dallas and Gerald Ford Stadium for the start of the fourth quarter. The number 10 ranked Miami Hurricanes in a dogfight right now against the Mustangs. Tied at 17, looking at 2nd down and 8 to go. Carson Beck pulls it. Complete at the 35 and up the sidelines to Marion. Picks up a 1st down.
You can see Carson Beck changing the play at the line of scrimmage. That condensed bunch formation, the corner was playing way off, so Carson Beck just saw the grass, changed some stuff up to make sure that it was communicated across the board, and then took what was an easy free access throw to Keelan Marion.
JoJo Trader split to the top of your screen after that 18-yard gain. Mark Fletcher down to the 47 of SMU a moment ago. Q caught up with Coach Cristobal.
Coach, what type of impact can Malachi Tony have on this fourth quarter?
Well, as you can see, at any moment in time, he can break open the game with some of his big playmaking ability. and he draws a lot of attention as well, so other guys have to make plays as well.
Are you seeing anything specific in coverage in terms of the way they're defending him?
I mean, they played back, they sprayed it out and been very soft on the edges and mixing it up. So when I say soft, I'm talking about backed off and keeping everything in front, but they're doing a good job.
Thank you, Coach.
2nd down and 3. Fletcher stopped up right near that line of scrimmage by Alexander Kilgore. He's been slowed by a hamstring injury at times this year. Key part of that Mustang defense. 6'1" junior from Katy, Texas.
Already seen SMU come up with a stop on a 4th and 1 earlier in this half. Here a big 3rd and 1. Can you get some penetration in the backfield from these defensive tackles or defensive ends to create a negative play?
Marty Brown came into the ball game for Mark Fletcher. He's beside Beck. Brown gets the call and picks up that 1st down with a 2-yard pickup. 1st and 10 Miami.
Man, it's a nice job by Alex Ballman, who had a defender cutting across his face. Defender on the edge is going to cut across the face of the tight end, who just does a really nice job of washing it down and allowing Marty Brown to be able to get up the field through a seam. Without Alex Ballman being quick to the inside and washing that across the face of the running back, it's likely a negative play.
That's a great replay and great analysis there, Roddy. Beck underneath, complete. Malachi Tony stopped up at about the 34-yard line. That's where they'll spot his forward progress close to the 1st down. Picked up 10. They'll move the chains on this. Remember, Malachi Tony reclassified, folks. He's only 18 years old. Got to say, maybe the top freshman in the country?
Yeah, Decory Moore out at Oregon's been really good at receiver as well. But Malachi Tony, his impact, I think his impact in special teams puts him over the top. We've already seen him take a punt return inside the 10-yard line today. He had 2 punt returns last week to get him great field position. I would say he's the top freshman in the country.
Yeah, I gave him the coveted Roddy Award last week.
Yeah.
Look at Carson Beck down to about the 26-yard line. 11.5 minutes to go, 70-yard pickup by Beck.
They don't do this much, but we've seen Carson Beck use his legs mostly in the scramble game earlier in the game. Not a lot of zone read in this offense, but that highly effective, as it now is going to affect that defensive end, Ja'Kai Lane, for the rest of the game. He's going to have in his back of his mind, all right, maybe we get a keep here.
Lyle and Fletcher in the backfield beside Beck. And that's going to be Fletcher, pardon me, Lyle. Lyle stopped up right near the line of scrimmage. They're going to test the patience of that Miami run game. 2-yard gain on the play. They've got those 2 guys inside that do a nice job defensively for SMU. Jeffrey Emba, especially, a fantastic story. A native of Gabon, moved at 4 years old to France, then back to Cameroon when he was 13, and then back to France when he was 17, where he picked up American-style football. The Purdue transfer doing a nice job for the Mustangs. 3rd and short, and they're going to stop up that Miami run game. Brown with nowhere to go. It was Isaiah Smith. 4th down coming up, Roddy.
Well, Jeffrey Emba with a great get off, and he just makes it a big pile there in the middle until the rallying troops come and make the tackle. Really nicely done in the middle. You mentioned it. Incredible story of a guy who's been all over the place. You actually spoke some French to him yesterday, but he clogged that middle up to force the long field goal.
In any language, that was good football by him. Carter Davis in to attempt this field goal from 45 yards out. And he gives the Hurricanes a 3-point advantage. 9:34 to go. A tight battle in Dallas when we come back.
At Burger King, you write the rules of value.
New rule number 82. Everyone gets what they want. Now we choose the deal. So I get exactly what I want, and so does the picky princess.
There's something for everyone with the $5 duo or $7 trio.
At Fairfield, every moment of a perfect game day shapes your fandom. Whether it's stepping out with your crew, grabbing the fuel you need to support your team, or getting that flawless assist from a fellow fan. Be ready. Wherever the season takes you, Marriott Bonvoy has a hotel brand for every kind of fan. Official hotel partner of the NCAA.
GSSI profile complete.
How much sweat are you willing to lose? Because when you do that, you can surpass the hype. You can inspire generation after generation. You can compete against anything. So how much are you willing to lose? That's how you know. Hey now, say now. How much you willing to win? Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now.
If the Colonel knew we waited this long to bring our tangy, smoky KFC Original Honey Barbecue back, he'd be, a little upset.
I'll get the mop.
The Colonel lived, so we could chicken. Back because you begged for it. KFC Original Honey Barbecue.
Familiar faces square off in MSG. In the City of Stars, Wemby looks to shine.
Victor Wembanyama, a figment of our basketball imaginations.
But all eyes are on the Lake Show. Timberwolves Knicks, Spurs Lakers, Wednesday.
Let's take a look at today's proven performance brought to you by Goodyear.
When we talk about tempo, SMU can go about as fast as anybody in the country. This is a long completion down the field to Matthew Hibner from Kevin Jennings. And just look at how long it takes them to run the next play. Jennings gets the completion. Hibner throws it back to the umpire who sets the ball. And then 13.3 seconds later, they've got the ball snapped and get an easy completion. That tempo, not only does it wear down the defense, it forces the defense into really simple calls where you can have easy pitch and catches after long games.
So it's been a little bit of a equalizer at times today for the Mustangs. This will go through the back of the end zone, 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. We'll check in with the studio. Guys, what's good?
All right, Jonesy, keeping you up to date on this wild one between Clemson and Duke. TJ Moore, quarterback's best friend, Yak. He goes 70 yards for the touchdown, 45-38. Clemson back on top. Don't forget, coming up, bottom of the hour, C.J. Carr. It'll be interesting to see where the playoff rankings have Notre Dame come Tuesday. They've got Boston College this afternoon.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. 1st down and 10 for the Mustangs, down by 3. Kevin Jennings, who was shaken up a little bit earlier. This was the scene a moment ago. Downfield and incomplete. R.J. Maryland, the intended receiver. Jennings appeared to put it right where it needed to be. 2nd down and 10 coming up as a result. Jennings complete at midfield, 1st down to Derek McFall coming out of the backfield.
Really nicely designed play by SMU. The fake has Aguirre's eyes in the backfield, and Derek McFall just slips out. We saw this play in walkthrough yesterday. Thought it could be good for him, and it was there.
Jennings delivers back shoulder fade. What a catch by Jordan Hudson. Wow. Contorted his body, Roddy, to make that grab.
He is as talented a receiver as they've had here since Rashee Rice. Not only does he contort his body to make it, but the strong hands, because he sees that late and snags it. That's 3 pass plays down the field that they could have had completions on. Maryland had the drop, and then the last 2 result in big plays.
20-yard pickup. Couple of chunk plays deep into Miami territory. Jennings rolls out and wisely throws that one away. It'll be 2nd down and 10. You showed that impact of tempo a moment ago. We spoke with Jerry during a break. He was saying there are times where an offense can go too fast.
Yeah, you have to let that center judge, who is the referee that holds the ball up, spots the ball. You have to let him get deeper than the deepest. And sometimes, if he's not deeper than the quarterback and the running back, that could be too fast. Jerry McGinn, our rules analyst, telling us that could be a penalty on SMU. It felt like, I mean, Jerry's going to have a more keen eye on whether or not it's been close since, but it felt like it hasn't been as close since.
Keep an eye on that. Jennings, little sidearm delivery complete to the 21-yard line. Catch by Hibner. 7-yard gain on the play. 3rd down and 3. Harden in the backfield. Another sidearm delivery and a 1st down to Jordan Hudson. Man, Jennings really dropped down.
He tried to almost bend it around the offensive line, but that's another example after the 2nd down play of tempo, getting an easy completion for this offense, and it's wearing down this defensive line as we get further in the drive. They're a little slower off the ball.
7th play of the drive. All passes so far. Jennings trying to do it with his legs. No go for Ruben Payne, who has that left arm wrapped up, almost mummified. Look at that thing.
Oh yeah, it's got like the J.J. Watt elbow guard. It's more intimidating, but you see how hard he's breathing. I mean, they've been on the field. They've been going at tempo. He does a nice job on that one. I think Kevin Jennings probably should have given it, especially because he has no explosion off of that left leg that we saw got injured earlier.
A little over 7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Jennings with time takes off and throws it out of bounds. Outside the pocket, ball beyond the line of scrimmage in the vicinity of a receiver. No grounding. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
And with Kevin Jennings, when he's running, you can see the strides as he pushes off the right foot look pretty normal. But that left foot, it just looks dead. And for anybody that has had an ankle sprain, you know what it's like to push off with an ankle that's been twisted. It just feels like you have almost a flat tire. There's just no thrust off of it.
3rd and 11. Jennings dropping back. There's a flag down. Jennings finds a receiver, his tight end, Hibner, and he's brought down inside the 5, but this is going to be a hold.
Holding, offense, number 59. 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
DJ Williams called for the hold on Marquise Lightfoot.
DJ Williams right there on the edge of your screen. He gets Lightfoot wrapped up and then slings him to the ground for good measure. Kevin Jennings actually created a nice play there. PJ Williams stating his case. Not a lot to argue there, PJ.
From the 25 now. It'll be 3rd down and 21. Well, within field goal range.
Just about to say, the thing that you can't have here, Mark, is a sack that pushes you back further.
They got to get to the 4-yard line for a 1st down. Double throw coming up. Double pass. Brinson incomplete. And Miami's defense had that deciphered. Ruben Payne got a piece of that pass.
Almost threw that thing right to Ruben Payne.
How about that?
He short-armed it a little bit. I'm not sure where he was going with the ball. He had Kevin Jennings out on the boundary, and Ruben Payne was by far the closest person to it. That was dangerous.
So Sam Keltner will come in and try and tie this game from 42 yards out. 10 of 14 on the season. Made one earlier from 43. This for the tie. Wow, that was close. And he missed it. He missed it. That was extremely close. But the official said it was wide. In a game of literal inches, he missed it by that much. Those analysts tell us why.
The field judge makes a great call on this. By rule, the complete football must be inside of the uprights. It cannot go even one piece of the football cannot be on top of that upright. And it appears it goes directly over the upright. It's a great call. No field goal.
So the complete ball must be inside the upright.
Yeah.
In the aftermath, Miami football, 6:24 to go, up 3. And Mark Fletcher lacerates that line of scrimmage. Good for about 5 yards. This is where this Hurricane offense is built to milk clock and move the chains, Roddy.
This offensive line, this is their time of the game. It is time to move people against their will and hand the ball to Mark Fletcher and just drain the life out of this ball game. And if you can do that and get a touchdown, it's going to be really hard for SMU. SMU's going to dedicate a lot of bodies to stopping the run.
Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Carson Beck pulls it complete to Malachi Toney. Good for the first down at the 37-yard line. This SMU defense hasn't given up huge plays in the secondary this game.
No, they haven't. Miami's been patient, though. They've looked for him, but Miami's been patient. Carson Beck has been patient, getting back to his check downs and taking what's underneath. It's kept them on schedule. The thing that SMU has done well is once Miami's gotten in that high red zone area, they've really buckled down and not allowed Miami to score touchdowns.
Carson Beck has completed his last 7 passes in a row. Going to take off. Lunges forward across the 40. They're going to spot it right at the 40-yard line. Beck has completed 11 of his last 12. Picked up 3 with his legs right there.
Smart by Carson Beck. It's an RPO where he wanted to throw it out wide, and he ends up not liking the look and tucking it. He's been incredibly efficient in this second half after a frustrating first half. And we saw a number of times the frustration out of We've seen frustration out of Shannon Dawson today as well. But Miami in a good position, a position that they feel good in with the ball and that offensive line getting down towards 4 minutes.
Beck hands it off to Fletcher. Pounding it between the tackles, good for about 2 yards. 3rd down coming up after that 2-yard pickup.
Mentioned some of that frustration after the stop on 3rd down. Miami's offensive line allowing a little bit of penetration, and Marty Brown getting stopped in the backfield. Shannon Dawson obviously frustrated. It looked like he was more expressing frustration to Mario Cristobal than at Mario Cristobal. But you could see his motion, almost willing the running back to hit it up behind that offensive line.
I just call that communication. I love it. Hurricane 6 of 13 on 3rd down today. This would be a huge conversion. They're going to pass it. Beck has Fletcher running out of time. Keeps it. Beck delivers complete down to the 29 to Marion for the first down. But there's a flag down on the play back near midfield at the 49. So hold on.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
Wow, Beck had all kinds of time to survey the field before finding Marion, but it all come back.
Well, it's okay initially. Go ahead and roll it, guys, because Carson Beck starts to scramble. And there's just an eternity of time as he goes and goes and goes, runs out to his left, and now those offensive linemen start to creep downfield. And then right there, you got an offensive lineman 5 or 6 yards down the field. Carson Beck comes back around, offensive lineman still past the first down marker when he throws it. And that's why you get called for illegal downfield. Like Lamar Jackson there buying time with Patrick Mahomes.
He's moving. Man was on his bicycle. 3rd and 10 now. He's had a hot hand the last couple series. And they whistled this one dead, and another flag on the play.
False start, offense, number 70.
Wow.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
11 penalties for 81 yards against Miami today, Roddy.
We were just talking about the importance of them possessing the football and draining this clock. You had a 3rd and medium, and you mentioned during that play, Carson Beck had Mark Fletcher, didn't see him. Then you get the illegal downfield, which that happens when you have scrambles that long. But the false start, stuff like that, that is been a backbreaker for Miami today.
3rd and 15 now. Malachi Tony, part of that bunch formation. But they come the other way. That's going to be a complete ball to Marion. And they're going to give him the yardage out to the 48. And that spot was on point, picked up 16. And it wasn't Malachi Tony, it was Marion.
Today, Keelan Marion's been the guy to go to on 3rd down, but William Nettles has to know where the first down marker is. I mean, you have to know that Keelan Marion is not going to push it up the field to try and score a touchdown. You need 15 yards to get the first down. Keelan Marion breaks it at 16. If Nettles is a little bit more aware that he can throttle down, break on that football, and knock it down, I mean, that's unacceptable to give up a 3rd and 15 in this situation.
That's a huge conversion. Mark Fletcher now down to the 49-yard line. Approaching 2 minutes to go. SMU has 2 timeouts remaining. And clock management is going to be very important now. And we have a player down. We'll get some information on that in just a moment.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, watch me. Level up.
Football is presented by Serve Pro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration.
An emotional day for the Miami Hurricanes and the SMU Mustangs, resonating on the sidelines as well with members of the coaching staffs, respectively. During the break, Terry Webb of SMU was able to walk off the field under his own power. Marty Brown in the backfield for the Hurricanes. On the receiver screen, it's complete, but nowhere to go on the reception by JoJo Trader. Hey, here's our Monday night Week 9 football matchup. Cardinals squaring off against the Cowboys. 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app with Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. Coverage kicks off with the NFL Live show at 3 Eastern from AT&T Stadium, and Scott Van Pelt and the Monday Night Countdown crew at 6 Eastern time.
A lot of people here in the Metroplex going to be interested in that game. Did you hear Jerry Jones' comments about his $100 billion oil deal, and so he hasn't had time to fortify the Cowboys defense?
100 billion?
Yeah.
With a B?
I believe it was 100 billion. Something like that. Okay. A lot of, Playmaker knows all about Jerry Jones.
Hey.
I'd be a little busy too.
Busy. You're counting all those dollars.
That was a big tackle by SMU defensively on that second down. It sets Miami up for the 3rd and long. And like I said, they've given some of these up in this game, mostly to Keelan Marion. See how SMU plays this from a coverage standpoint, as Marion has been the go-to guy, but Malachi Tony always dangerous. Or does Miami opt to run the football to make sure that you drain it down to the 2-minute timeout?
Beck has completed his last 9 passes in a row. 3rd and 8. Beck, flag thrown, Marion. He's claiming that he was being held by Nettles. Marion is. But there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage. Let's sort this out. There's a flag on the far side of the field, downfield as well, it looks like.
There is no foul for defensive pass interference. However, holding, offense, number 61. Penalties decline, 4th down.
Big stop by SMU defensively. I do think there's an argument for defensive pass interference down the field. Be interesting to hear the explanation there. But there was also offensive pass interference, I thought too. But Maui Noah just slams down the SMU defender and then lays on him. And then down the field, Keelan Marion gives Nettles a little shove with the right hand, and then Nettles grabs the right hand. So I don't know how you adjudicate that one. I would have said it's either both sides or nothing.
Ymir Knight back for the punt at his own 10-yard line. Calls for the fair catch. SMU's got 90 yards to go, or at least just getting into field goal range. Let's bring in Jerry McGinn. Tell us about how we break down that last sequence, that last penalty, Jerry.
The defensive pass interference pickup, that looked like it should have been left down. That looked like there was a lot of contact, a lot of hand grabbing by the defense. So it was be very curious as to why they did pick that up.
So Jerry, did you see the shove by the offensive player as well? I mean, it looks like there's more on the defense. You can't see the right arm. I did think the right arm of Marion went into the defender. Did you see that as well?
Well, it was slight, but it wasn't really that much of an extension. Okay. So I would leave that go, but the defense was definitely grabbing them.
Yeah, and it would have been offsetting, and Miami would have had another chance.
SMU without any timeouts on the receiver screen, complete to the 17-yard line. Romello Brinson, the former Hurricane, 2nd down and 3 as we hit the 2-minute timeout. Hurricanes have 2 timeouts remaining. SMU doesn't. When I say it's a nail-biter, I mean it in a literal sense. So does Michael Irvin. Back after this.
2, please. Make that 3 with the Capital One Saver Card. You earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment.
3% cash back on salty, 3% cash back on sweet. You know this movie's 3 hours, right?
Good call.
Are you in this one?
Yeah, I'm in this one. Get your tentacles off my 3% cash back. Oh, perfect delivery. Oh, what's in your wallet?
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, you can simply arrive or make an entrance. Stick to the agenda or experience something unexpected. With IHG's 20 hotel brands, you can guest how you guest.
Crispy edge, soft center, that's classic Toll House. That's Toll House too, right? Both taste like memories. Look, hold on. Not done reminiscing. Nestle Toll House, magic in every bite.
Popeye's $6 Big Box is back. 2 pieces of signature chicken or 3 tenders. 2 sides and a biscuit. 1 very happy customer. Make Thanksgiving easy and delicious with Popeye's Cajun-style turkey. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
On the road at Boston College, it'll likely stay that way. That's coming up 3:35 Eastern, ESPN. And can DJ Lagway in Florida have the interim coach magic against Georgia? That went over on ABC in about 14 minutes.
All right, back here in the 4th quarter, 2 minutes to go in the football game. 2nd down and 2. A little bit of a head scratcher for Michael Irvin and the Hurricanes, finding themselves in another tight game for the 2nd time in 3 weeks. Harden in the backfield for the Mustangs. Pass downfield, and it's caught by Hudson. Wow, in traffic, fighting off Ethan O'Connor for the 1st down.
Ruben Bain is bearing down on Kevin Jennings, who throws up a prayer that's answered by Jordan Hudson. The talented receiver goes up and snags it and has the wherewithal to get out of bounds to stop the clock.
They don't have any timeouts remaining. Will Sam Keltner get a chance at redemption after missing a field goal a moment ago? Miami bringing pressure. Jennings. There seemed to be a little miscommunication there with Romello Brinson. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Stops the clock with 1:47 to play.
Kevin Jennings has done a good job of getting the ball out before The pressure has gotten to him. He's also done a really good job of scrambling to avoid sacks. But that is going to be the #1 thing. You cannot take a sack in this situation, have the clock running, and a loss of yardage.
Brinson split to the top of your screen. Mustangs without any timeouts left.
Deontay Scott, the nickel, showed blitz just a second ago.
Here he comes. Got to Jennings and sacked him back at the 38-yard line. As you pointed out, Roddy, Deontay Scott and Bain had a meeting at the quarterback.
Well, they kept on the blitz, and T.J. Harden just whiffed on the block. And then you have Romello Brinson kind of loafing back to the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 19, no timeouts. Underneath, out of the backfield, it's to Harden. Brought down by Jacoby Thomas. 4th down coming up.
I wonder if Miami takes a timeout on this big 4th down. Once you get the look of the formation, or do you do it with everybody scrambling?
We've got to get to the 43. Jennings drops back, and they blew it dead. And we're going to have a flag on Lightfoot. It looked like he tried to hold up Jennings.
Well, they blew it dead because the timeout was called, but he didn't pull up enough and ends up clobbering Kevin Jennings. He's trying to pull up,
but was called by Miami. Dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 12.
Wow.
15-yard penalty.
Mario Cristobal is incensed, irate on the sidelines.
Well, so watch the two defensive ends. You got Ruben Bain on this side and Lightfoot on this side. Ruben Bain pulls up before Lightfoot does, and I think that's why this penalty is called. Bain pulls up, Lightfoot still goes into the quarterback, so it's bang, bang. But when you have the defensive end on one side stopping the rush, Ruben Bain hears it and stops. Marquise Lightfoot does not and ends up hitting the quarterback. That's why I think this is called, because we didn't hear the whistle initially.
No.
So I understand why Lightfoot would continue, but it's pretty damning evidence when on the other side, Ruben Bain stops rushing and Marquise Lightfoot continues to pursue.
We don't know for sure if he saw his teammate pull up, though, right?
No, but if Ruben Bain pulled up, then Ruben Bain heard the whistle, which means the whistle was out there. And that was on a 4th and 9 play that's going to give SMU an automatic 1st down. And so, yes, Lightfoot would not have seen Ruben Bain, but Ruben Bain heard the whistle.
Could hear him, yeah.
There was a whistle.
Great point. Hey, our Week 10 ACC Network football lineup continues this afternoon, 3:30, Pitt, Stanford. Then Florida State hosts Wake Forest in Tallahassee at 7:30. Both games available on the all-new ESPN app, which you can watch anywhere. Right now, SMU on the fringes of field goal range. With a little over a minute to go, Jennings broken up at the 33-yard line by Deontay Scott, intended for Hudson. Remember, the Mustangs don't have any timeouts remaining. Sam Keltner looking for a moment for atonement after missing a field goal on the previous try just a few moments ago. Derek McFall in the backfield. 2nd down and 10.
Good if you're Kevin Jennings. No sacks here. Try and get the ball out.
Gets it out quickly, complete to Knight. Yamir Knight down to the 25-yard line. 1st and 10. And now in field goal range for Sam Keltner.
Got a player down. Looks like Savion Byrd, who left last week's game against Wake Forest with an injury. It's going to cost SMU 10 seconds, and the left tackle has to come out of the game.
Nate Anderson comes in for him. Here's one of the key plays so far. The field goal that was tough to discern as to whether it was good or not. But Jerry McGinn, our rules analyst, says the entire football has to be inside those white uprights. 1st and 10. Jennings. There's a couple flags down on the play. Jennings cuts it upfield and tiptoes out of bounds at the 20. Let's see what these flags are about. SMU doesn't have any timeouts.
Holding offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty, replay 1st down.
Yeah, it's the center. Joshua Bates, they put Ruben Bain on him, and yeah, that's all you can do is grab him around the neck. I want to make a correction, Mark. I said that the injury was going to cost them 10 seconds, but because of the first down, it doesn't cost them because the clock stops on that first down.
It's been a point of contention with the Miami Hurricanes coaching staff to the point where they have communicated with the league about Bain being held going back several weeks now. Just on the fringes of field goal range now. 47 seconds to go, 1st and 20. Jennings with trips and a bunch formation to the top of your screen. Throws it up and incomplete for Ymir Knight. Keontae Scott, the omnipresent DB, in on coverage for the Hurricanes. Stops the clock with 42 seconds to play.
Keontae Scott's had himself a day. It's been all around the football. Now, what does Corey Heatherman dial up here? Do they decide to be aggressive? This isn't a big pressure team with more than just 5 because those defensive linemen are so good. But Ruben Bain is the one you need to watch for.
Jennings. Tiptoes out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Back within field goal range, picked up about 4. 35 seconds to go.
How aggressive is SMU going to be? That make from Sam Keltner earlier from 43, the miss just barely from 42. This one, if they don't get another yard, would be approaching 50. It'd be about 48 yards.
And his career long is 51. 7 on the play clock. Got to get moving here. Jennings, you don't want to take a sack, and he won't. The pass is ruled complete at the 21. What a grab by Hudson. Kept his feet in bounds. Stops the clock with 29 seconds to go.
Makes himself available to the quarterback. Feet are down, ball in his hands, firm control. Does he survive the ground? He does.
Wow.
What a catch.
What a grab as that moves Sam Keltner a little closer. And Miami is going to try and put him on ice.
The ruling on the field is a completed catch. The play is under further review.
And this doesn't hurt the Hurricanes' cause. They don't have to use a timeout. They're going to review this. The ruling on the field was complete. As we go to the ACC Game Day Operations Center in Charlotte.
The ruling is a catch in bounds and completed pass, obviously.
So we're going to look at this. We're going to first see the ball. If we look at replay A, we're going to see the ball here. Then keep going, keep going, keep going, keep playing it. Can play it in real.
It's TV slowing it down, Mark.
Oh, this is TV slowing it down. Yep. So we're trying to identify when he's bringing the ball in to identify control. Okay, so we're going to try to be able to get a real version of that live view.
Replay C from up top.
So if you
right
see
25.
here, you're going to see now that we have control here.
Still have the right down.
He has that right foot down.
He brings it in and his hands come off it.
And then his hands come off of that. So, but we have to have control first. And now he's going and bringing it and bringing the ball in. So he has control with that body part down. Would everybody be in agreement?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And then he's bringing the ball in. So we have a completed catch. Now I'm just checking to see, let's check to see the yard line, make sure that's accurate.
20.
And we have the 20 and he's bringing it in. The ruling on the
21.
field. And you have the, excuse me?
The ball's right now says 21.
Okay.
21. We don't have to be able to overturn that. The ruling on the field is upheld.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the ball is good where it is.
The ball is good where it is.
Okay, ruling is upheld. Thank you.
And the clock is good.
Got it.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld.
Your thoughts, Jerry, on the deciphering and all that?
I tell you, that was a great stoppage. Everyone realizes that this is an important play in the game. and they went through every single steps, making sure that it was a completed catch. So kudos to the replay booth. Great job.
And now a chance for redemption for Sam Keltner from 38 yards out for the tie. This time leaving no doubt. And we are knotted at 20 with 25 seconds to play. The Hurricanes with one precious timeout remaining.
The mental resilience of this SMU team and of the kicker, Sam Keltner.
Yeah.
He had one miss by a hair. That one, as you said, left no doubt. Miami's got 25 seconds left, one timeout. I mean, we've seen miracles happen. We'll see how aggressive they are. But SMU, the great drive and the mistake, another penalty by Miami. It was bang, bang, maybe a little controversial on the roughing the passer, the unnecessary roughness, but nonetheless, it was a penalty that got SMU off of that 4th and 9. Here earlier was the miss by the slimmest of margins, just outside, maybe even over the upright. But you come back and absolutely drill one, and despite having negative -2 yards rushing on the game, Mark, SMU tied.
Yeah.
And it looks like this one might be headed for overtime.
Numbers are kind of crazy to figure out when you talk about their rushing total, but here we are tied at 20 with 25 seconds to go. Keelan Marion and Tony Johnson back deep for the Miami Hurricanes. Marion was one of the top kick returners in the conference last year at BYU, but he will not take this opportunity. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25. What a day on homecoming here in Dallas. Back to the studio.
Yeah, Jonesy, just want to give those Notre Dame fans an update that we've started that game over on ESPNU against Boston College. So when this thriller between Miami, SMU ends, we will bring Notre Dame, Boston College over here to ESPN, but it's currently on EU.
So programming, doing a little scrambling, which is good news for us. Tie football game, Miami with the timeout left from their own 25, and they're going to play for OT. Carson Beck is going to take a knee. And that'll do it for regulation.
Free football.
If it's free, it's me, Roddy. You already know. Miami came into this game as a double-digit favorite. And we are knotted at 20 apiece.
The end of regulation.
And this is the second meeting all time between these two schools. In the biggest game here at SMU going back to 1983. And they have risen to the occasion. Back with overtime in just a moment.
Feel that? Monday nights hit bigger in Texas. Them boys are feeling it. Feeling the weight of high expectations as...
Welcome to Overtime, presented by Cheez-It.
It's crunch time. In the first overtime, each team gets a possession starting at the opponent's 25-yard line. If it goes to a second overtime, teams again start at the 25-yard line, but must attempt a two-point conversion after a touchdown with no extra points allowed. From the third overtime on, teams alternate two-point conversion attempts from the 3-yard line until the game is decided.
The rules for overtime, Miami will have the football first. Starting at the 25.
SMU has been in an overtime game before, losing in double overtime to Baylor earlier this year. This Miami's first trip to the extra period.
Shamar Brown in the backfield. Malachi Tony in motion. They're going to run it. They get a nice gain down to the 16-yard line. That was Brown. Let's look at the overtime records at you're alluding to for the respective head coaches. Cristobal is undefeated in overtime. One of those overtime games for Lashley coming this year, that victory. Second and short. Tony, the middle receiver. On second down here, they're going to give it to Brown again. And Brown picks up the first down. Stopped up shy of the 10-yard line. First down and 10 Miami. They can rotate several different backs in there between Fletcher, Brown. We've seen Lyle today as well.
Yes, we have. And seems like during the break, the talk with Miami was, hey, let's see if this offensive line can get us a touchdown. See Mark Fletcher there on the sideline. A couple good run plays so far for Miami.
Beck hands it off. That's going to be Brown. Brought down at about the 7.
Tell you what, Marty Brown, if he cuts that back sooner, he has a walk-in touchdown. Just missed the hole a little bit. Get another look at Mark Fletcher on the sideline. This SMU defense has been so good in the red zone really all year long, but preventing Miami getting in the end zone when they've gotten close. Can they do it here is the big question.
On second and 6. Marion, the bottom receiver. They keep it on the ground and nowhere to go that time for Marty Brown. Spears making the tackle, setting up an interesting third down coming up.
Yeah, Brandon Maiazono got into the backfield and forced him into Spears, but this is the situation that SMU has been able to create. Third and longs. Keelan Marion has been the go-to receiver throughout this game on third downs, but it's typically it's Malachi Tony who's the go-to, who's second from the bottom. Keelan Marion lined up, singled up to the top.
Beck's gonna pass. Pumps, delivers, picked off at the 2 by Moses. The interception plague rearing its head again for Beck.
Ahmad Moses is right here, and when the receiver goes in, his eyes then go to Malachi Tony. And what Tony does is he starts to work outside and then back in. Ahmad Moses sees it, but Tony starts to go up the field into the end zone. Carson Beck thinks he's going to continue straight down the line, and what that allows Moses to do is cut underneath the route and intercept that football. It's a really good play. Second interception of the game for Ahmad Moses. 14th interception on the season for this SMU defense, who has consistently created turnover after turnover.
All they need is a field goal. Jennings on a predetermined quarterback run, tiptoes out of bounds at about the 20. Make it a 37-yard field goal if they would choose to go for it here. There's a look at the overtime records in this, the biggest game here in Dallas for SMU in decades. You have to go back to 1983 to find the last time SMU defeated a top 10 opponent.
If SMU is able to punch it through the goalpost or in the end zone, it feels very familiar in November for Miami.
Harden on second and 5. Brought down shy of that line of first down marker by Akeem Mesidor.
2 straight seasons where Miami's gotten off to hot starts with a lot of promise, college football playoff potential. Last year, losses to Georgia Tech and Syracuse, 2 of the last 3 games derailed that. They ended up being the second team out of the college football playoff. And here they are with SMU with the ball. A score wins the game. And Miami, college football playoff hopes would be on life support if SMU is able to convert for either a touchdown or a field goal.
On 3rd and 2, Jennings hands it off to Harden. He's going to pick up the first down. They'll move the chains. Miami's got to hope that they can, if they get another opportunity, can create some kind of turnover, punch the ball loose, whatever.
You are doing anything you can to get the ball out in this situation. SMU is not going to put the ball in the air. It's going to be all runs. Rhett Lashley likely telling Kevin Jennings in that headset communication, remind everyone before every single play, ball security. And if you get held up, if you get wrapped up by a Miami defender, just get to the ground as soon as possible.
On 1st and 10, Jennings hands it off. Harden inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. 2 hands on the football for T.J. Harden, senior out of Los Angeles. 2nd down and 4.
Feels like SMU wants to end this thing with an exclamation point.
Sure looks like it.
Power on that offensive line. Finding gaps. T.J. Harden running hard. Mario Cristobal hoping for some sort of Miami miracle.
Jennings hands it off again. Harden brought down just shy of the end zone. Feet away. First and goal, SMU.
Well, Miami slanting the defensive line this way, and Matthew Hibner gets a great block here on the edge to allow T.J. Harden to cut back. And then it's just the power of the running back breaking a leg tackle, getting them down inside the 1-yard line.
SMU on the verge of history. Harden, trick or treat, Dallas. SMU wins. SMU with the upset of the Miami Hurricanes, improving to 6-3 on the season. The biggest win for the program since 1983. Coach Lashley victorious against his previous school. And Miami's playoff hopes on life support. So long from Dallas.